evening, everybody, and welcome to Duluth FC Soccer, brought to you courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team, alongside our production engineer, John Lau, our head camera operator, Terry Anderson, and Coach Joe Mooney. This is Matt Johnson coming to you live from Public School Stadium here in Duluth, where is NPSL North Conference Championship Saturday. The Blue Greens taking on Med City FC for the third time this year, with a date in the Midwest Region playoffs up on the line here between the Blue Greens and the Mayhem here today. And Coach Mooney, like I said, third meeting of the year between the Blue Greens and the Mayhem of Med City. Games are always tight between these two, and we should expect more of the same of that here this evening as well.
Yeah, Matt, and obviously both teams coming off big wins in their respective opening rounds. I would think both teams are primed up, and really, I mean, if you look at the results the first two times around here, very good games, and you know, I think a real kind of equal quality to both teams. So I think we're primed for a really good game tonight.
Duluth FC maintaining their undefeated record in their semifinal contest on Wednesday against Minnesota Twin Stars. The Blue Greens now 12 wins against 0 losses and 1 draw against NPSL North foes this season. Number 1 seed, of course, for the NPSL North playoffs. Meanwhile, Med City, the number 3 seed in the NPSL North playoffs. The Blue Greens coming off of a 5-1 win last time out against Minnesota Twin Stars, as I mentioned, in the North semifinal. That game was played on Wednesday night and was a game that you saw right here, courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team at Public School Stadium. In that contest, the Twin Stars actually struck first on a tally by Siddique Jabate in the 37th minute to give Twin Stars an early 1-0 lead, but from there it was all Blue Greens as Tyler Limmer came back less than 2 minutes later to score the tying goal off a pretty feed from Connor Behan, the first of his 2 goals on the night. His 9th goal overall in the season at that point to make it 1-1. And just before the half, Duluth FC took the lead for good as Coach Domorotsky drew a penalty kick and then converted from the spot in technically the 45th minute. It was about 4 minutes in extra time in that first half. But Domorotsky with his 6th goal of the season to make it 2-1 at the break. And then the second half, Twin Stars received a red card in the 55th minute. And from there, Duluth FC continued to apply pressure and ended up scoring 3 more times to make it a 5-1 final. Andre Solaris made it 3-1. With his 2nd goal of the season in the 62nd minute off an assist from Lever to make it 3-1. And then it was Felipe Santos scoring his 5th goal of the year in the 74th minute for a 4-1 Blue Greens lead, before Limmer again converted from the penalty spot off of a penalty drawn by Felipe Artiega in the 84th minute to complete the scoring. Limmer with 2 goals and an assist on the night. And with his 2 goals, like I said, Limmer now in the double figures with goals this season. He has 10. Zeke Foltz got the starting goal and went all 90 minutes to pick up the win. And it was a game, Coach, that took the Blue Greens about 45 minutes to really find their footing in. But once they did find their footing and really found their groove, they really played well and took the game away from the Twin Stars.
Yeah, Matt, you know, the game on Wednesday night, obviously, I think it set the bar really high in terms of just, it was such an exciting game. Had a lot of drama in a lot of different ways. And so, like I said, for a playoff game, sets the bar really high for what to expect out of tonight's game.
Meanwhile, Med City, the Mayhem, 7-2-4 against NPSL North foes this season. The number 3 seed, as I mentioned, in the NPSL North Conference playoffs. Under head coach Neil Cassidy, they're coming off of a 2-0 win over Dakota Fusion FC. That was the 2-3 matchup on Wednesday. That game was played at Jim Gotta Stadium in Moorhead. In that contest, the 2 teams played to a scoreless draw through 45 minutes before the Mayhem scored twice in 4 minutes in the second half to pick up that victory. Lucas Hart opening up the scoring for Med City in the 70th minute before Tristan Jamu scored in the 74th minute to provide the winning margin for Med City. In goal, Iker Gonzalez, tonight's starter in goal for Med City. He picked up the win in the clean sheet in goal, playing all 90 minutes in that contest. Should be mentioned that now with the win, the Mayhem have scored 25 goals this season and conceded 10 goals, so they're plus 15 in goal differential. With the 5 goals against Twin Stars, the Blue Greens have now scored 44 goals and conceded just 7. Plus 37 in the goal differential for the Blue Greens this season. Quite an impressive number, Coach. That leads all of the NPSL in scoring margin.
Yeah, Matt, we talked about this, I think, on a previous broadcast, but it's really kind of one of the situations of, like, what came first, right? Is it, you know, when you look at that goal differential and you look at how stout they've been defensively, are they scoring a lot of goals because they're that good defensively and they have the freedom to get forward? Or are they that good defensively because, you know, there's such a handful on the attack? And I think really what we got to was there's just a lot of balance in this squad. And you think about the squad that, you know, Sean Morgan and Craig Chudley and Greg Gilmore, those guys have put together. I mean, it's an unreal squad right now. And we've talked about this. I really do feel like they're a team that is primed for playoffs. But if there's a team that matches up really well with them in this division or in this conference, it's definitely Med City. And so again, I'll say it one more time, I think we are primed for a really good match tonight.
Duluth FC went 1-0-1 in their two previous meetings with Med City, defeating the Mayhem 1-0 in their first matchup right here on May 31st at Public School Stadium, with Liam Pritchard scoring the game's only goal for the Blue Grades in the 63rd minute. And then the second matchup, Med City took an early 1-0 lead on a goal by Tristan Jamu in the 17th minute that carried over into the half, but the Blue Greens eventually evened up the game off of a goal by Felipe Santos in the 49th minute to make it a 1-1 contest. Duluth FC now is 2-0-2 against Med City in their last 4 matchups with the Mayhem, and Med City the only team to take a point off of Duluth FC during the regular season, Coach, so that should also be in the back of everyone's minds here in this game. We expect a very tough matchup between these two squads here today.
Yeah, Matt, they're really hard to break down. They don't give up a lot of spaces in between the lines, and they've got a couple players that can be a real handful. And we talked about Scott Neal on I think just about every time we've seen him. He's a terrific player and just like I said, an absolute handful. And there's a few other players that kind of surround him that are going to make it difficult for Duluth tonight.
So that's the story here as we head into this NPSL North title game between the Blue Greens of Duluth FC and the Mayhem of Med City FC. And with that being the case, we'll take a quick break here from one of our sponsors, then come back with a look at the Blue Greens starting 11. That's coming up right after this. This is Blue Green Soccer, brought to you by the Duluth FC Stream Team.
Hi, I am Dr. Lauren Wallace. I am one of the primary care physicians at St. Luke's Miller Creek Medical Clinic. I always tell people the most important thing is that they are in control of their health. We talk about joint decision makings. It's a decision that we make together on what's the next step. I want them to improve their health, right? That's the whole goal of medicine. And so we sit down and we talk about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then we make a plan. How do we get to that point in the healthiest way possible?
For your heart, for your hope, for your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Matt Johnson, Joe Mooney back here at Public Schools Stadium, about 5 or 6 minutes away from the opening kick of this NPSL North title contest between the Blue Greens and the Mayhem. And with that being the case, as usual, giving the starting lineup here for the Blue Greens, starting in the back with number 2, Josh Bellamy, the native of High Wycombe in England, gets his 3rd straight start, spelling the injured Stefan Robe, who could have probably played tonight, but ended up not wanting to go and risk any more injuring to that ankle that he's had. That's been a little bit tender lately. So Bellamy gets the start on the outside, played all 90 minutes on Wednesday. He will be joined in the back 4 by Jake Starling. Starling making appearance number 52 for the Blue Greens here tonight, the defender from Dade City, Florida, and the 3-year captain for the Blue Greens. He will be joined in the middle by Santiago Arazo as well. And those three right now, the last couple games, have really solidified that relationship between the three of them, and plus Miles Edmondson, who we'll touch on a little bit later, as a really solid back group for the Blue Greens here.
Yeah, Matt, it's become a really solidified back 4. I think the partnership between Santi Arazo and Jake Starling has really shown itself, and obviously those guys are college teammates as well, or were, and so you see the chemistry that's really kind of taken hold between those two guys throughout the summer. But we talk about the fullbacks and not only how stout they've become defensively, but you're going to look at Miles Edmondson and Josh Bellamy as players that can get up and down the pitch. They're going to be at times the guys that are overlapping, becoming the furthest guys forward, and are going to be a big part of the attack as well.
No surprise here. Andres Solares, number 6, the Guatemalan center midfielder, scored one of the Blue Greens' 5 goals in the win against Minnesota Twin Stars on Wednesday. He gets the start in the middle as usual. Very, very, very strong player for the Blue Greens. We've talked about him quite often, of course, over the last couple of years, but he continues his excellent play, and no surprise, he gets the start in the center of the park as well for Duluth FC. Starting on the wing, Felipe Santos, who has also had a really, really good second half of the season. He now sits 3rd in scoring on the team this year with 5 goals. He's been playing on both the left and the right side. Had another goal in the game against Twin Stars on Wednesday, and he's just been dynamite on the wing lately here, Coach.
Matt, he's really become a difference maker and a bit of a game breaker, and that's what we were kind of missing from him in the first half of the season. We talked about this. The talent was there, and there were glimpses of it, but over the second half of the season, he has really become a staple for this Duluth FC club. And like I said, I mean, it's kind of in those moments where you're trying to get things sorted out and you're looking for that player to really break the game open, just provide that little bit of quality, that extra quality, that special element. He's the guy that provides that.
Starting in the middle as well as the target forward, the number 9, Tyler Limmer. No surprise here, Coach. 2 goals and an assist last time out. He's Duluth FC's leading scorer, the 6'3" native of Brandon, South Dakota, but he does so much more than just score goals for this team.
Yeah, Matt, we've talked about him at length in our broadcast because he keeps popping up, and as you mentioned, it's not just the goal scoring elements of it. And by the way, he's very good at that. We've seen him just be efficient, kind of clinical in front of the net. But it's all the other work that he does to chase down loose balls, to be the first line of press. He's a very active forward, but he can also sit in and be a bit of a pocket forward as well. He kind of does it all.
So also getting the start tonight, no surprise here, left outside back, Miles Edmondson. He joins that back 4 of Bellamy, Arazo, and Starling. Edmondson's been a mainstay on the left side, and he will join, like I said, those other 3 in the back 4 for Duluth FC. In the center of the park, the 2 midfielders coming up, both Irishmen. One, Rory Doyle, who does a little bit of everything as well, plays both ends of the field very well for the Blue Greens. He gets a start. He'll be joined by his fellow countryman, Connor Behan, alongside Solaris in the center of the park for the Blue Greens.
Yeah, Matt, we've talked about that trio between Behan, Doyle, and Solaris, and just how great that midfield has become. I think, in all the years that we've been watching Duluth FC, I think this may be the most complete midfield that we've seen.
Starting also, Colin O'Mahony gets the start tonight. Kosher Domorowski will get a break on the bench. He will come off the bench for the Blue Greens, and it'll be O'Mahony that'll step into one of the wing positions alongside Limmer as a target forward and Santos up the top on the 4-3-3, and then rounding out the Blue Greens starting 11, Zeke Foltz, who has really, like I said, become kind of the main man in goal for Coach Sean Morgan and company. He gets to start, the goalkeeper from Sioux Center, Iowa, as you get a look there. And overall, a very similar looking lineup to what they had against Twin Stars on Wednesday. Coach, 1 or 2 couple of changes. The most obvious, of course, being Colin O'Mahony coming in, but there you go. Look at that 4-3-3. O'Mahony will play on one wing, Santos on the other, Limmer, as we talked about, the target forward in the middle. The 3-man midfield, Behan, Solaris, and Doyle, they've been pretty much consistent now the second half of the year. And then Josh Bellamy getting the start on the outside for the injured Stefan Rowe, Miles Edmondson, Jake Starling, in Arazo in the middle, and Zeke Foltz in the goal for Duluth FC. And there you go. Look at the bench. James Price backing up Foltz yet again. Dylan Zavattini, who came on late against Minnesota Twin Stars. Felipe Oliveira and Felipe Arteaga. Arteaga, of course, came off the bench and drew a penalty kick in about the 84th or 85th minute that Tyler Limmer converted. And there's Domorowski, as we mentioned. He'll be coming off the bench tonight. And a couple of guys back in the lineup tonight that'll be on the bench and available. Paul Bobai and Tom Akinola, a couple of guys we haven't seen in a little bit. They've both been a little bit dinged, but back in there tonight and dressing for this game tonight. So Coach Sean Morgan must have quite a bit of faith in them at this point.
Yeah, Matt, and I'm, obviously welcome back, first of all, to Paul and Tom. It's great to have them back. And when you look at that bench, Matt, I mean, you look at both Felipe's, Dylan, Paul and Tom joining the lineup again, and then obviously Kostia in there as well. It's like those 7 guys as field players can be, 6 guys as field players can be absolute difference makers, and they're starting 6 guys at most NPSL clubs, I just look at that bench and say that's the example of the depth that Duluth brings. This full 18-man roster tonight is an absolute handful for any opponent.
Certainly one of the deepest teams in Duluth FC history, maybe arguably the deepest team. 44 goals, 13 different goal scorers for Duluth FC this year, so plenty of punch coming off the bench in the 2023 campaign for Duluth FC. So that's our pregame programming here as the Blue Greens get ready to take on Med City here for the NPSL North playoff title here at Public School Stadium. With that being the case, we'll step away for just a few moments and then be rejoined by our public address announcer, Pat Sterner, who will officially introduce the 2 teams. We'll have the national anthem and then the opening kick of this NPSL North title contest between the Blue Greens of Duluth FC and the Mayhem of Med City FC. That's coming up right after this, courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.
my spirit in the stars, bury me in the grave and carved. The history was ours. Set up. You can't kill me. My spirit. History is ours tonight. The people are chanting. Can't you hear it?
Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to Public School Stadium. Tonight's NPSL North Playoff Final features from Rochester, Minnesota, the 3-seed Med City versus, hailing from the shores of Lake Superior, the number 1 seed, your Duluth FC Blue-Green. Let's introduce the teams for tonight's matchup. First, the starting roster for Med City. Number 3, Martin Rasmussen. Number 4, Jake Strachan. Number 5, Andrew Wilkinson. Number 8, Toby Millward. Number 9, Lucas Hart. Number 10, Tristan Jumeau. Number 11, Scott Neal. Number 13, Iker Gonzalez. Number 14, Matthew Roberts. Number 22, Matthias Mia. And number 23, Henry Tolbert. Coaching Med City is Neil Cassidy. Starting 11 for the Blue-Greens. Number 2, Josh Bellamy. Number 3, the captain, Jake Starling. Number 4, Santiago Orazo. Number 6, Andres Salares. Number 7, Felipe Santos. Number 9, Tyler Limmer. Number 15, Miles Edmondson. Number 16, Rory Doyle. Number 17, Connor the Sheriff Behan. Number 18, Colin O'Mani. Starting in goal, number 35, Ezekiel Foltz. Coaching Duluth FC is Sean Morgan. Assistant coaches, Craig Chudley, Barry Chasty, Greg Gilmore, and Corey Bullheller. Your officials for the evening are Brian Wood, assistant referee Zachariah Ali, Assistant referee Dan Sundell, and fourth official Victor Demayerelis. Brianna Stolen, proud Duluthian and vocalist over 15 years, is a current member of Twin Ports Choral Project and Duluth Superior Symphony Chorus. Has appeared on stage in various performances with Lyric Opera of the North, UW Superior Choirs, MSU Moorhead Choirs, the Fargo Symphony, and Duluth Playhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Brianna. Good evening, soccer fans. On behalf of all the players for Duluth FC, we want to thank our premier athletic team sponsor, St. Luke's. St. Luke's is proud to be the official sports medicine team for Duluth FC. They strive
So
every
the
day
national
to keep
anthem
our
has been
athletes
played.
healthy
The two
and
teams have been
performing at the
introduced
top
by our
of their
public address announcer, Pat Sterner, here at Public School Stadium. And we are moments away from the opening kick of this NPSL North title contest between the Blue Greens of Duluth FC and the Mayhem of Med City FC. Thank you for joining us here for more Duluth FC soccer as the Blue Greens playing their second game here of the playoffs. It's win or go home both ways for these two teams. The Blue Greens, of course, putting their undefeated record on the line here. Meanwhile, the only team that was able to give them any kind of blemish on their record, Med City, the opponent here tonight. There you get a look at what else is going on, by the way, in the NPSL Midwest region. This is one of 4 conference title games going on. The winners of each of these matchups between Des Moines and Milwaukee, Steel City and Cleveland, Tulsa and OKC 1889 and Duluth FC and Med City will all move on to the Midwest region playoffs next week. Depending on who wins those games, by the way, the teams will be reseeded. It's a little bit complicated to try to figure out who's playing who. So this is not what we would call a bracket per se. It's more of a show of who is playing who and what is on the line for each of these teams. 4 of these 8 teams will move on to the NPSL Midwest Region tournament next week, which will take place at a yet-to-be-determined site of the 20th and 21st. So a week or so from tonight, that'll be when those games will be played. So that's what's going on as far as the rest of the NPSL. As it is here tonight, the Blue Greens going through their final paces before kicking off this game, as is Med City. Duluth FC tonight, by the way, stepping away from their traditional green and white hoop jerseys. They are wearing the full whites, by the way, with the navy blue trim. They'll be going from left to right here in the opening 45 minutes. Med City, meanwhile, on the road here tonight, they'll be wearing the green and navy blue with the white shorts. They'll be going from right to left here in this opening 45 minutes. And Coach, as we talked about in the pregame, we expect this game to be tightly contested. Maybe not a lot of goals. The two teams played to a 1-0 contest. The last time they played here, that was a win for the Blue Greens and then a 1-1 draw. And then their last matchup on a Sunday, actually, down in Rochester. That was a few weeks back. So looking for this game to be pretty tight from the start. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams start out this contest here this evening.
Yeah, Matt, we talked about this on Wednesday night, that as you enter the playoffs, it's just a different vibe, right? And so I think that Duluth struggled a little bit. They had played so well throughout the entire regular season, and then just kind of tightened up a little bit when they came into the into the game on Wednesday as they entered playoffs. I would suspect that those nerves have now been shaken a little bit, and they're back to kind of old hat. We'll see how they start here, but I would suspect that they're going to come out a little bit more, kind of firing from the start. At least we certainly hope to see that tonight.
Well, certainly when talking with Coach Sean Morgan, he was unhappy with the first half, to say the least. He was pretty descriptive about it, actually quite blunt with me when I talked to him after the game about how he felt about the opening 45 minutes against Twin Stars. Felt they played much better in the second half, so we'll see if they can carry that over into the first half here against a very tough Med City team as the game is kicked off. Tyler Limmer playing it back for the Blue Greens, and we are underway here in this NPSL North Conference title game here at Public School Stadium. Again, thank you for joining us here on this Saturday night. By the way, beautiful weather here in Duluth for this contest. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s and not much wind or humidity in the air. I'm not even sure we're supposed to get any chance of precipitation here tonight, so hopefully the weather in the game itself will be as nice as the weather, I should say, as this game gets underway. And Iker Gonzalez, the keeper here for Med City, getting his first touch right off basically the bat here. Sends it over midfield, now headed forward. And usually games with Med City quite tightly contested, Coach. Med City has gained a reputation for being very, very well coached, very good in terms of keeping their shape. And they do not mind conceding possession and then playing on the counterattack. So we'll see how this game unfolds with that knowledge. These two teams, of course, very familiar with one another. This is their third matchup of the season, and now we're going to have a free kick here taken. On the far side, Lucas Hart will take it here. He was one of the two goal scorers for Med City in that game against Dakota on Wednesday. On the left foot here, Blue Greens holding the line at the top of the 18. Driven ball comes in, and Jake Starling is there, and he'll head it away, and we'll have a throw coming up now. On the far side, Med City, a team, like I said, very deliberate at times in their pace of play, Coach. Whereas Duluth FC wants to get up and down the field as fast as possible. So it's a real contrast in styles between these two teams.
Yeah, Matt, I think that's what makes it such an interesting matchup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very much a contrast in styles. The two coaches very, very familiar with one another, also quite friendly with one another. As this throw comes in, Starling again winning the header. Now it'll be headed back in, and that'll be easy pickings, or at least it should be, for Zeke Foltz here, who won't even bother to grab it with his hands. He'll play right to his feet.
Matt, good to see Duluth FC just deal with two set pieces, obviously the free kick and then the long throw early on. That's something that they've, at times, it's been a little bit of their Achilles heel, is just not being able to deal with early set pieces in the game.
There's a ball now through from Scott Neal, one of the players that we highlighted in our open. Josh Bellamy cutting that ball off for Duluth FC. Here's Colin O'Mahony now getting the start tonight. Coach Domaratsky, as we mentioned in the pregame, starting on the bench tonight for Duluth FC, and now a faulty touch there from Miles Edmondson. Took his eye off the ball, and it'll be a throw here coming up for Med City.
Yeah, Matt, obviously a little bit uncharacteristic of Duluth FC to give up a ball like that. Our fullbacks, Duluth FC's fullbacks throughout the summer here have been very good. Just as outlet players and kind of always becoming those outlet options, usually very consistent. And again, just maybe some of those early nerves, just trying to get settled in.
Med City working the ball near side. Martin Rasmussen going to the far side of the field, and it will be a Blue Greens throw here. He's trying to hit Lucas Hart on that far side, but it comes over the far side for a Blue Green throw. It'll be taken here by the aforementioned Miles Edmondson, who has been a real stalwart at that left outside back position for the Blue Greens all season. Santiago Razzo now will switch the field. Here's Josh Bellamy bringing it down. Bellamy now making his third straight start. Here's O'Mahony. O'Mahony now steps around the challenge of Rasmussen, plays it over the top. Limmer has to peel off as he would have been offside, and that'll be easy pickings for Gonzalez. Med City now playing it wide. Andrew Wilkinson, their team captain, now comes back into the middle. And an angling ball forward, now trying to release for Henry Tolbert. Tolbert has it taken off of his foot. by Bellamy. We'll have our first corner kick of the ball game here in the 4th minute, now going into our 5th minute. And it looks like it might be Tolbert that'll take it himself here. Check it, he's going to give way. And like I said, Med City not a team that rushes in any regard. They will take their time with everything. As Lucas Hart steps up here to take this corner kick. As they play it into the middle. Rising up for the head ball was O'Mani. Comes back on top for Jamu. Now cross comes in. Knocked down by the Blue-Greens. Played away by Bellamy. To the far side. And Limmer now coming back. Able to win that ball. And now Arazo. Playing it short, here's Miles Edmondson in the middle. O'Mani for the Blue-Greens. Coming forward in the middle now, here's Doyle. 3 Mayhem players close on him. Squares it to the outside now, here's Edmondson. Now he turns it over. And now Jamu trying to draw a foul. Went down very easy there, but he'll get the benefit of the call. And that free kick will come up about 35 yards away from goal.
Yeah, Matt, obviously trying to take my bias out of it here a little bit, but I will say it looked like a soft call. You know, I think that just kind of, there was some normal sort of jostling of arms there. You didn't see a tug, you didn't see a shove. It looked like everything was kind of above the line there, but, you know, irregardless, I think that what the center official there, Brian Wood, had seen there, I mean, it's the last man back. Jake Starling was the last man back, and I think was in a bit of a tough position. So
Millward going to start for Hart. Now they play it to the wide side and trying to get a cross away. That one knocked down by Edmondson. He'll pop it into the air. And now another Med City player goes down, and we'll have another free kick 30 yards away from goal here as drawing that falls Hart.
Yeah, and I think that one, Matt, is probably a call that the center official got right. You know, Hart had left his feet. He had jumped straight up for the ball. Santos kind of stayed on the ground. And when you see a player move in the air, a lot of times the guy that's on the ground is going to get called for it because he's moving into that space while the other player has sort of vacated it while he's in the air.
Standing over this now on the right foot. Here's a ball in, and Fultz will grab that one. Former tight end in football. Zeke Fultz, he's always told me that he's very comfortable with balls in the air, so very good hands for Zeke Fultz. We've seen that all season long, Coach.
Man, I didn't realize he was a tight end. It makes a lot of sense now. You see him, I mean, he is an absolute block of a guy. I mean, he's got a lot of mass to him. He's a very strong frame, and like you said, he's very good in the air. You know, any kind of cross ball, he deals with it extremely well.
Now a ball to the outside looking for Santos. Goes out of play. We'll have a throw coming up here for Med City. It'll be taken on the far side. Matthias Miller will take it. We're in the 8th minute here. Already seen Med City press up the field early in the game. Arazo now playing it over the top. Rasmussen heading it away from O'Mani. It's on the deck now for Tolbert. Tried to heel flick it. Nobody in a blue jersey there, and now here's O'Mani. Colin O'Mani advancing forward, has Limmer with him. Now has to peel off this Tyler Limmer. Has it taken off his foot, and here's Matthew Roberts now in the middle of the field. Jamu.
Yeah, it looked like, Matt, just O'Mani and Limmer kind of got caught in between different thoughts there. You know, O'Mani just kind of ran out of space.
He did indeed. Got a little bit too far forward without knowing where he wanted to go necessarily with the ball. Here's Doyle. Now the outside, here's Felipe Santos. Santos now taking it in deep. Tried to cross it, goes down. We play on as Wilkinson able to make the sliding tackle. In the middle now, here's Neal.
Yeah, Matt, I don't think there's any way that Felipe is going to get that call, especially at this point of the game. I think he was kind of looking for the call as he went down.
Bellamy now, and now we're going to have a whistle. And I'm not sure what the call is here from Brian Wood in the middle.
This offside on the field is
it's going to be an offside call.
Downtown Duluth.
Wasn't looking for the flag on that far side, but apparently it did go up. Or actually, that's not. Can't play that ball. There would be no offside in that location, but either way, it's a free kick here for Duluth FC. I'm not quite sure what happened there. In the meantime, after the restart, now here's O'Mani trying to turn and go against Rasmussen. Trying to play it through. Here's Behan. Now O'Mani. Into the middle, here's Doyle. Rory Doyle over the top, looking to release Behan, and off of his line was Gonzalez to grab that one.
Yeah, Matt, I think he was originally looking for Limmer at the angle of the ball that went, and Limmer kind of looked like he maybe mistimed his run, so he held up. And of course, it's Connor Behan who breaks that last line. He's so good at that. We've talked about how he's always lingering in the 6, isn't he?
Long ball forward. Now here's Tolbert coming forward, and now we're going to have a foul call on Tolbert as he got a piece, I think, of Foltz, as Zeke Foltz tried to come out and punch that ball away.
Yeah, Matt, I think he's actually calling the original play between Tolbert and Starling. It looked like Starling was going to maybe go up for the ball. And I don't know if Zeke called him off or if Starling just, maybe missed his jump there. But what the official saw, I think, was that Tolbert had made contact with Starling as he was about to make that jump. And so that's where the call comes from. So a little bit of a nervous moment there, but in the end, Duluth's out the other way.
Here's Bellamy now, trying to make a move around Rasmussen as it does. Nice job to body him off. Now plays all the back for Gonzalez.
Really good turn there from Rasmussen.
Headed in the air now. Here's Solaris, and now what are we going to get? Did they call a foul? Another one? On Tolbert? Apparently they did call it. I'm kind of surprised on that one, Coach.
Yeah, I didn't see much, but this is a sign of a good center official when, a lot of times our eyes will dart with the ball as it leaves somebody's foot. And a good center official will stay on the player that just released it to see if there's any contact after the fact.
Well, ball to the outside, and there's going to be a foul called, and now friendly fire there. As Lucas Hart just nailed one of his teammates off that free kick.
This upcoming free kick sponsored by Penguin Marketing.
Get the foul call, and then you also get the worse for wear by getting nailed by your teammate. And Brian Wood having a conversation with Hart now on that far side, Coach. And
yeah, I'm sure just kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he didn't hear that whistle blow or was kind of already in his windup. To me, it seemed like it was probably significantly after the whistle had blown, but.
Well, and the fact also that he hit his own teammate.
Yeah, if he would have hit one of the Duluth players, or if it goes into the bench area or something like that, he's probably getting carded for a kick away like that.
Here's Tolbert now. He'll square it now into the middle. Here's Hart. Back in the middle. Here's Millward now with it. In the 12th minute. Here's Hart on the left foot. Plays it all the way back now. Here's Wilkinson. Duluth FC sending just one forward right now defensively, that being Tyler Limmer. This ball comes to the top of the 18. Now Gonzalez sends it near side. Here's Jake Strachan. Strachan now dispossessed. Here's Doyle. Now something probably here for Duluth FC if they can make it work. Limmer trying to beat Strachan, takes it wide. Limmer now trying to cross it in, takes a deflection, and able to grab it was Gonzalez. Thought they would have gone straight to goal there, Coach.
Yeah,
they
Matt, they had numbers going forward, and I think as Limmer was carrying the ball from left to right there, he was kind of hoping that maybe O'Mani would have taken his run a little bit wider, but he had Rory Doyle on the left side.
Here's Foltz now, and now Jamu trying to go towards goal, and it'll be saved on the end line that time as Foltz, coming off of his line, was a little bit slow getting there, and Arazo coming back to slide that ball away. That was our first really good scoring opportunity of the game, and actually, never mind, it would have not counted anyway. They called an offside on Jamu, so take that ball away.
Yeah, but, Matt, for Santi Arazo there, that's got to be a little bit of a boost of confidence for him. It's kind of one of those things where, even after the play is whistled dead, you never want to see the ball crisp your own goal, right?
So a goal kick here for Foltz. Santos now flicking it over the top, popped up in the air now. Here's Wilkinson's ball. Brought down. Limmer trying to flick through. Now comes from Miles Edmondson. Edmondson for the Blue Greens advancing forward. Duluth FC right now a little bit bunched up. They're playing a high line in the back right now and not creating a lot of space here for the Blue Greens.
Well, Matt, what they like to do is they like to play through the midfield so much, and I think, what I'm going to call Med City's formation right now is somewhat similar to like a 4-4-2 diamond. So what they've done is they've essentially kind of foregone their
Santos
width a
now.
little bit to add more numbers into the midfield. And I think Duluth's having a hard time passing the ball through the midfield because it's so clogged up by Med City's formation.
To the outside, and Duluth FC right now trying to carry the ball through there quite a bit. Now we're going to have a handball called on Connor Behan. As we're in the 15th minute, Duluth FC gotten caught a couple times coming too far forward, coach, too slow moving the ball back and forth. Have to make an adjustment, like you said, kind of a diamond look here from Med City. As they will now play it back. Wing ball near side. Out down by Rasmussen. Bellamy now fighting with him. Wins it back now. Here's Jake Starling. High press again here from Med City is coming forward now on the left foot. Arazo into the middle. Behan to the outside, Edmondson. Back for Connor Behan, who continues his run toward the 18. Passes behind Limmer. Cleared away. Arazo. Heavy touch from him. Now a pass to the outside, Tolbert. For Med City. Keeping his balance. Still coming through. His ball through. Got through Solaris momentarily, but was behind the intended recipient, that being Jamu.
I think Duluth's going to play it out here, Matt. I think Santi just kind of looked like he went down awkwardly on that left knee. We certainly hope he's all right.
Yeah, Christy Wilkie's going to come out and have a look at him here. 16th minute of this one. Very tight so far. Exactly what we really expected from these two teams. Duluth FC, like I said, is 2-0-2 the last two seasons against Med City. And the games have always been, like I said, quite tight, Coach.
Yeah, Matt, and again, I think, I kind of hesitate to put a, to kind of call out another team's formation,
Right.
just because,
Yeah.
Formations can look, much different in each coach's eyes, and so at times it's hard to really pin down what another team is playing. But I'm like I said, I'm going to call it a 4-4-2 diamond for Med City, and what that means is they've got a flat back four with Rasmussen, Strachan, Wilkinson, and Mia, and then in that holding center midfielder spot is Millward. And then I think Hart and Roberts are playing kind of like quasi, so they would be the midfielders, and they can spring out into wide spaces, and you've seen Hart do that a lot. But in their defensive shape and in their starting positions, he'll start in tucked in a little bit more. And then Scott Neal is playing like a man in the hole, so he's playing underneath the two forwards in Jamu and Tolbert, and that's where I get kind of that 4-4-2 diamond. So the advantage to that, like we said, is against the Duluth FC side that is going to try to play the ball to the midfield, because we talked about how great their midfield has been this summer. I'm sure that's what the coaching staff for Med City has seen, and is going to try to stifle that. Maybe not just matching them man for man, but putting that extra man in the midfield and just really trying to clog up those lanes. The advantage to that is just that. Like you're going to have a numbers up advantage in the midfield. The downside to it is you're not going to have as much width, and you're not going to be able to play through the channels as much as you want to. And so I would think you're going to see Mia and Rasmussen continue to try to get further forward to provide some of that width for Duluth FC.
Here's Solaris now turning it over on the outside. Now Jamu off the restart, trying to get it back in the middle. Good job by Doyle to track back. Cut that ball off that was intended for Scott Neal. And now Arazo will come back in.
Yeah, he's still warming up over there.
Dylan Zavattini was over there.
Yeah, but Arazo's still over there with Christie, and now it looks like he's going to the center. So obviously Duluth playing down a man right now.
Now ball on the outside. Here's a shot. That one deflected, I think, or maybe off the outside of the boot. Tolbert running it down in the corner, and then it'll be volleyed out by Bellamy, and they're going to give a corner kick here, the second one of the match. Both of them so far for Med City, like you said, Santi. Right now trying to be stretched out over there. Dylan Zavattini's continuing to warm up, by the way. In the meantime, corner kick coming near side, corner flag. This one will be taken by Millward.
Yeah, Matt, and obviously, Sean Morgan is in a tough spot here because you don't want to play a man down, especially it seems like Med City's got a little bit of that moxie right now, right?
Yeah, they do.
But you don't want to be switching center backs if you can at all avoid it. So
there's a ball in now, and it'll be punched over by Fultz, and then he took a blow, and now he's down. Wondering if he got dinged as well. Now he's back up to his feet, punched that one over.
Yeah, Matt, and that was a troublesome ball. And
Yeah,
again, it
that
just
was-
shows Fultz's prowess on those balls that are slung in. He's so good in the air.
Yeah, he's very good in the air. Here's another corner kick, this one bending, and this one will go over the top of everything. And we will have a goal kick here coming up for the Blue Greens. Looks like the night might be over here for Santi Arazo, as Dylan Zabatini right now getting ready quickly here.
Yeah, Matt, and certainly we just hope that Santi maybe banged his knee on the turf and is just kind of, hopefully
Yeah,
just
a
a
little
sort of
bit.
a bruise or something
Right.
like that
Yeah.
is aggravating. And obviously, Sean Morgan electing to put a fully fit player in at that center back position. Santi, for all your fans out there and family listening, like we hope that this is nothing serious and that you're back real quick.
Yeah, he's back there right now, clearly dejected over the situation back there as he comes out. So Dylan Zabatini is in. His first substitution of the game for Duluth FC, and now off the goal kick. Here's a ball over the top. Santos trying to run it down. Gonzalez had to come off of his line, out of his box. And right off the bat, ball sent forward, and Zabatini will head it back now for Fultz.
Oh, Matt, and he landed awkwardly on his ankle, it looked like.
So Duluth FC
Dylan
right now.
did.
Yeah, trying
You'll
to-
be fine. It's one of those that just kind of, I think, catches your foot wrong in the way you step, and he's already running it off. So
Bellamy now will go back with it for Jake Starling. So Starling, in the middle now Doyle. And they're playing, like I said, those three up top. Trying to put as much pressure on the back. Good coaching by Neil Cassidy to recognize that Duluth FC likes to play out of the back, and now here's Limmer. Tyler Limmer coming forward, plays the ball outside. Edmondson running the wing. Now's Edmondson. And now he'll draw a corner kick as he went outside against Mia, and it will be a corner kick for Duluth FC, their first of the game. Come from the far side corner flag. Rory Doyle jogging over to take it here for the Blue Greens.
Matt, I think what Duluth's starting to recognize a little bit is that they're going to have to play a little bit more direct than they like to, and so
Right, yep.
it's going to be some of those diagonal balls into the channels. That's where your overloads are going to be, because you've only got the one fullback that can deal with the channels. You don't have necessarily the quick help to back you up.
So here's Doyle on the corner kick here. Doyle, high arcing ball backside. Overshot a couple of players. Now Solaris balling it back in the middle, getting head to it was Zabatini, and he hits it over the bar, so it'll be a goal kick here coming up.
Matt, and that is an advantage to having Dylan Zabatini in the game, is he is really
Big and
good
strong, yeah.
offensively in the air. He scored a couple goals this summer. Obviously, the CSU Pueblo product
Yep.
has been a part of a really strong program there.
Here's Jake Strachan now coming forward. Good defense by Solaris, great the turnover. Now Behan. Behan coming forward for the Blue Greens. Taking it wide. Got stood up a little bit at the 18. Now the Mayhem trying to break back. Ball forward for Tolbert. Good job by Bellamy to win that one out of the air. Strachan now touches it outside. Here's Rasmussen. Ball hopped over his foot, and now he'll draw a throw.
Yeah, and conversely, Matt, obviously Med City is going to have a hard time trying to advance the ball through the channels.
Yeah, they're going to play much more direct as well. Rasmussen now coming forward, cuts back on the right foot. Plays it into space. Continuing it on now is Matthew Roberts to the outside. Lucas Hart trying to play as Milla. Ball in the middle, overshot the intended recipient, that being Jamu. And now Neal may have gotten away with a handball there. Not called, and now here is Zabatini. Dylan Zabatini for Duluth FC, turning on the left foot. Now
Yeah, and
sending
you
it
can see
forward.
there, Matt Dillon is looking for some of those central options, and they're just not going to be there as much.
Now Gonzalez will go wide with it again. Andrew Wilkinson, one of the better defenders, by the way, in the NPSL North. Been impressed with him over the years. As this ball now comes near side, here's Jake Strachan coming forward. Strachan now playing it over midfield. A couple Duluth FC players close on it. Doyle had it. Tolbert comes back. Ball to the outside, and that's going to be intercepted. Now a foul going to be called on Doyle.
Yeah, and he's going to be carded, Matt. I think the yellow is actually on O'Mani there, as he caught Tolbert late. You know, anytime that I think Rory Doyle felt like he took a hand to the face there and immediately was looking for the call.
The call didn't come.
And when the call doesn't come like that and there's contact right afterward, the official is going to assume it's a frustration foul, and unless you have a really good response, he's more than likely going to give you a card.
So a free kick here coming up for Med City. Millward looks like he will be the one to take it here.
Matt, I was never successful in trying to talk my way out of one of those frustration yellow cards.
Right. Even if it didn't necessarily always come. Solar's heading it wide. Now here's Tolbert, and a little feint there, and draws the throw. Been impressed with Tolbert so far. Low to the ground, not very big.
Yeah, and in this formation, Matt, he's going to need to be a player that covers a lot of ground. So you're going to see him start central and float into the wide channels quite a bit.
Here's Roberts now turning to play a ball back here. Here's Rasmussen trying to step through. Square ball in the middle. Here's Neal. Continuing on now outside. Lucas Hart now on the left foot. Tried to step through, played a ball in the middle, telegraphed it a bit, cleared away by Solaris. And now it's O'Mani. O'Mani trying to take it wide. I feel like if he could have played that first time, it would have been better. But in the meantime, Duluth FC now with Behan getting knocked down behind the play is Limmer. They play advantage. Now Bellamy coming in. Takes a shot on goal, and it'll be saved.
Yeah, man, I'm a bit surprised that there's not even a discussion after the play.
Now an angling ball coming near side for Tolbert. Being measured over there now by Starling, edge of the blue-green 18. Tolbert trying to step through, left the ball behind him. Still trying to step through, leaves it for Roberts. Stepping around Bellamy, now coming in on the 6, played it in the middle. There was nobody there in the Mayhem jersey, and now we're going to have a whistle, and now we're going to have a conversation.
Yeah,
he was waiting for the play to come.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And again, I think it's good officiating. Like I said, I think there needs to be some sort of discussion and actually a card. Okay.
Yeah, as Wilkinson gets whistled for that card. So it'll be a free kick here for the Blue Greens. It's good that Brian Wood, I guess, kept that in mind, that he wanted to make sure that we revisited that play with Limmer getting tripped up.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be sort of the key for Duluth. If they can break into that final line, they're going to have some numbers forward. And I think they're going to need to be more patient than they're used to. They're not going to see as much of the ball and as much possession as I think they're used to seeing. And if they can be patient and look for those opportunities to spring out, like the last one we just saw, those will come, and if they can be efficient there, that's going to start to open up the game more.
Here's Doyle now trying to step back. Roberts wins it down. Now plays the ball through. Foltz off of his line, clears it away. Solaris now picking it up. Now Bellamy. Ball over the top. Headed wide. And Rasmussen will track it down now near sideline. O'Mani, and they're going to call that foul on O'Mani.
And obviously, Colin O'Mani needs to be careful. He's already on a yellow card.
Yep.
And I don't think that's a foul that's going to produce one, but he needs to be sure that he's not accumulating a lot of fouls.
Same story now for Andrew Wilkinson, by the way, on the other end for Med City. So both teams have key players right now with cards. As Millward standing over this in 28th minute. And Millward will give it a ride over the top. Now Bellamy. Jake Starling now. Solaris turning away from Tolbert. Well done that time by Andre Solaris. Playing a ball through the middle. Now Behan. Met by Millward. Lost possession on it. Now the Blue Greens will take it back, and now they're going to call that a foul. And we'll have a free kick now for Med City. I'll say this for Wood. He's calling this game very tightly, Coach.
Yeah, Matt, and I think it was just and I forget who the Med City player was on the ball, but I think had position on Solaris and contact is initiated there. It's probably a call that's going to be made just about every time.
So free kick here. Millward standing over this one. Taking almost all the free kicks here so far for Med City. He plays this one over the top, and now we're going to have a foul called on Med City. So yeah, he's calling this one tight, Coach. I don't think he's going to let a whole lot get. He's going to keep a tight lid on this game, I think.
Yeah, Matt, and that makes sense, you know, with the stakes that are there. But I think also if you look at the two teams and just kind of their respective seasons, it's probably two of the cleaner teams in terms of just there's not a lot of foul accumulation for either one. There's not a lot of cards given out. And so I think you could probably afford to give both these teams a little bit more leeway to play.
Here's Neal now taking it wide, playing a ball forward, broken up by Zavattini. Now ball wide for O'Mani. Two players close on him. Now it's Tolbert. His ball to the outside. That gets intercepted by Bellamy. Now it's Behan trying to turn and split a couple of players. Nowhere able to intercept it. They've been reading that pass to the middle very well, have Med City. And now here's Neal playing it wide. Trying to run it down over there is Hart. It's too far for him, though, and it'll be a throw now for the Blue Greens as we enter the 31st minute of a scoreless contest. It has been very much between the 18s here, Coach.
Yeah, Matt, you just mentioned that Med City's been good at reading those balls that are trying to come central, and you're right. But again, I'll point out that they've got the extra man there centrally, and so those lanes are just naturally going to be filled more. And Duluth is going to need to find solutions to get out of those spaces.
Here's Solaris now coming forward, comes together with Roberts. We play on as both players hit the deck. Now the ball wide, looking for Jamu. It's behind him. Wasn't expecting the pass, I don't think. And now here's Edmondson. Miles Edmondson, Behan. Now taking it wide. Here's Jamu. Turning and getting a look, and that one knocked down by Foltz, and he'll keep it in.
Well done from Zeke Foltz there to get back up and get that second ball to save any kind of corner opportunity.
Yeah, I thought that ball might be going wide of that near post, but
tough to say from our angle, Matt. I
but
thought you were right. You know, it did look wide, but I'm going to trust the guy between the posts to make that call.
I'd rather have Zeke step forward and make that play than let it go, for sure. Rather have him be more aggressive and make the play on it than otherwise. Now here's Starling playing a ball over the top, looking for Santos, and he gets taken to the deck, and now we're going to have a foul called on Med City.
Matt, I think, is this the first
free kick
that Duluth had kind of in the final third?
Other than the corner kick they had, yeah.
Right.
Probably would have had one on that play with Limmer had they not gotten the shot from Bellamy on the near side.
And that might be part of Duluth's strategy going forward into the second half is, again, it goes against everything that they've been trying to play this year. They're trying to build out of the back. They're trying to be patient in the way that they build numbers. But, you know, to lump balls forward like that in a game that's going to be this tightly called is going to give you opportunities like this. It's going to give you set piece opportunities in the final third.
It's going to be Limmer standing over this one about 25 yards away from goal here. Probably more like 26 or 27 yards. He'll stand over this one now, straight on. Med City going to hold the line here near the top of the 18. As Limmer steps up, gets a shot away, hits the wall, had plenty of venom on it. Cleared ball back for Starling, and now Starling will send it back to the far side. Edmondson, Doyle for Limmer. Limmer trying to get it back for Felipe Santos to make that. Broken up, and now Med City trying to break back to their direction. Here's Tolbert against Bellamy. Stepping inside, Tolbert trying to make a move. Good read that time by Solaris. Now Roberts shielding the ball away from O'Mani. Again, trying to split a couple players. Both teams have had a hard time with that particular play, Coach, of trying to split a double team. Ball comes all the way back, and now Wilkinson into the 18 for Gonzalez. Wilkinson playing on a yellow card, plays it through the middle. And now Med City is going to want a card, I think, on Edmondson, and I think they're going to get it here. Miles Edmondson now gets a yellow card right near midfield. Came in from behind, and that's going to be called more times than not.
Yeah, man, it's from behind. It's a bit late. It's the right foul to call for sure, and I think it's the right card to give.
I would agree with that. So we have a free kick now for Med City, right near midfield. Miller will take the free kick here. For Hart, playing it down, and they're going to call now a foul on Zavattini. And that's just not a really good play by Dylan Zavattini there, stepping in like that. Catching him inside. Now that's 3 yellow cards on Duluth FC this half.
Yeah, Matt, I guess I don't know that I saw that one the same way.
Okay.
You know, I think that I think Zavattini actually had position and won the ball there. And there was obviously contact made, but I think his angle was the correct angle. One of those where it's, you know, it's a little bit tougher to tell from our angle up here in the booth, but he certainly made first contact with the ball.
Looks like Hart will take this free kick here now as we're in the 35th minute. And he will play it in, coming for it. And now we're going to have a foul called again on Med City. Like I said, Brian Wood being very, very, very tight on the calls here so far. We have a lot of cards if this continues, I think, both ways. And
you know, and obviously, you know,
I didn't see much there either.
Yeah, in a big game like this, Matt, like you know, the center official is going to want to try to clamp down and you know, really kind of be tight on the calls. But the problem that can happen is, you know, in the interest of consistency, now you have to call everything.
Yeah. Here's Behan now sending it wide. Felipe Santos has been quiet here so far in the first half. 2 players converging on him. And he'll go out of play. We'll have a throw coming up for the Blue Greens. Miles Edmondson, who has one of the 3 blue-green yellow cards, will toss it in. Now here's Doyle. 2 players converge on him. Now they try to play a short passing game through the middle. And again, there's just not enough space there to do it. As on the outside now, Neal. Stood up by Zavattini. Well done by Dylan Zavattini there. Behan trying to continue it on. Broken up by Mila. Now an angling ball near side. That hopeful ball for everybody, and it'll be a throw now for Duluth FC. Tolbert a little bit visibly frustrated with that ball because that was nowhere near anyone.
Yeah.
And we'll have a throw here coming up now for the Blue Greens. 37th minute. As expected, very, very tight here so far. Not really any good scoring chances either way, Coach.
Yeah, not in the run of play. There have been a couple good set piece opportunities.
Solaris now, and now he gets kicked by Tolbert. And Andreas Solaris.
Yeah, that's going to be a card on Tolbert, I'm sure.
Yeah, there it is, the yellow card. So like I said, the cards are coming now.
There's a good example of just mechanics from the center official. So you saw, obviously, Solaris was was heated up. He was going to have words, I'm sure, with Tolbert. And you saw Brian Wood just step in between the 2 players and actually pull Tolbert out to give him the card rather than just issue it in the field. And it just de-escalates the situation. So
Starling now will restart the play. Zavattini back for Jake Starling. So a bunch of players. We've got 5 yellow cards so far here in the first half. Now here's some space for Doyle. Coming across midfield. Doyle to the outside. Overthinking things a bit there on that pass, I think, from Rory Doyle. And we're going to have a throw now. Miller will take it far side as the throw comes in. And now Zavattini gets piled into by, I think that's Jamu on that side. And that's probably going to be close to a card, and at least a stern talking to here.
yeah, and I don't think there was malice in it, man. I think, but it certainly felt like an aggressive foul, right? Just because Zavattini was sort of blind. He was already striking through the ball.
Solaris now off the restart. Now Starling back for Zavattini. Now a turnover. Santos playing it wide, now looking for O'Mani, and a little bit of miscommunication there.
What a turn and a second touch ball from Felipe Santos there. There was a sliver of an angle to get that ball through, Matt, and he found it sort of blindsided.
Solaris laying it back through. Scott Neal now in the back of Solaris. We play on.
What a fun battle that is between Solaris and Scott Neal.
Yeah, right in the middle there.
Two guys that have been just terrific in this conference.
Here's Milla now going to the outside. Now they switch it for Jake Strachan, who's had a quiet first half. Done well when called upon here for Med City. Now it's Rasmussen stepping through, and now a long ball to nobody in particular. And it'll be grabbed, or excuse me, stopped in his box now by Foltz. Plays it short. Solaris now. Gonna have to find another avenue for that pass because it's just not been there here in the first half. Here's Tolbert coming through now. Doyle trying to shield it away from him. And now he'll draw a goal kick out of all that.
What a
Doyle.
recovery run there from Rory Doyle, and just
came
dealt with
back
it
and
well.
Just was not going to allow that ball through. And now they'll send it wide. Here's Dylan Zabatini with some space. Zabatini. Headed down by Edmondson, pop back up into the air. Now Zabatini. Has it down now, O'Mani. Outside Josh Bellamy. Or the Blue Greens will play it back now, and here's Colin O'Mani with it. Behan. Med City dropping a lot of numbers defensively as well here. They don't mind playing defense. We've seen that in the past.
Finally, Duluth starting to get a little bit of possession, though. That's something they've been more used to.
Now Doyle sinking in more now from that midfield slot. Now he'll send it wide. Here's Josh Bellamy. Back for Doyle. Angling ball. Behan. Edge of the 18. Connor Behan now. Thinking too much on that one. Just need to try to get that ball in.
Yeah, just couldn't quite sort his feet out there. But I think that's an example of what Duluth needs to do a bit more of, Matt, is if they're quick on the way that they switch the ball, it forces Med City into their midfielders into really having to play kind of more like wingers.
Behan now trying to send Limmer through. That ball knocked away. Here's Neal alongside Rory Doyle. Blue Green's able to keep it in. Here's Bellamy playing it wide now. Limmer. Now he goes down. He'll draw a foul, and we'll have a free kick coming up here. It's been a game so far of kind of free kicks here and there, Coach. Really, like I said, from the flow of play, there really hasn't been any kind of penetration in the 18 that you would say is high quality either way.
Yeah, and this could be a dangerous opportunity here for Duluth.
The player standing over this one now for the Blue Greens down there. Doyle and O'Mani, the two Irishmen right now consulting with one another down there. Doyle on the right foot, two-man wall on the edge of the 18, as you can see there from Med City. O'Mani on the left foot. And it looks like it's going to be Doyle. Playing it across. Headed wide. Now Jake Starling will pop it back up into the 18, or toward the 18, headed away. Find his way back for Josh Bellamy. Not sure why Bellamy didn't play that one back into the box, Coach, to be honest with you, but cleared over the near side. We'll have a throw now for Med City. '43rd minute. Don't expect there to be a whole lot of added time here in the opening 45 minutes, as Jamu now will go all the way back.
So, Matt, if you saw just before that free kick was taken, Miles Edmondson came over from the bench and delivered some instructions to Andreas Solaris, and I wonder if they're just going to shift a little bit within that formation.
Could be.
Just try to move the pieces around a little bit more.
Miller will take the throw far side. The throw comes in. Here's Tolbert. Turning now around a couple of players. Lost the handle momentarily. Now back outside. Roberts crossing it in. Took a deflection and grabbed off the turf here by Foltz.
Matt, as the two teams are kind of preparing here for halftime, I just wonder for the coaching staff of Duluth FC if they're starting to think, you know, so you've got Colin O'Mani on a yellow card, and this is not an indictment of the way he's played. I've been a big fan of his all summer, but you've got Kostya Damaratski on the bench, and you just wonder, you know, is that a player that could come in and maybe be a difference maker in the second half? And so you kind of wonder, is that even a change that might be made at halftime?
As Bellamy now trying to make a move around. The outside defender, Rasmussen. Nice job by Rasmussen to hold his ground. Now here's a ball forward. Jamu dumbing it through. Here's Millward coming forward. Trying to play it in the middle for Tolbert. Back for Millward. Wasn't looking for it. Cleared away now. Try to play it wide. Here's Neal. Scott Neal now trying to chip it over the top. And picked up here. And
Matt, what a ball in there from Scott Neal, though, wasn't it?
yeah, it was a really nice ball in. Bolt's able to grab it. Sends it outside. Now here's Edmondson. All slid away from him.
Just to sort of bring out the pitching wedge and just kind of chip that ball in.
Throw comes in now. Getting his head to it was Matthew Roberts for Med City. And now back here is Jake Starling. Playing it forward now. Solaris on the right foot. Limmer. Not the greatest of touches, but it's grabbed by Solaris. Now back, and here's a turnover as Jake Starling couldn't handle it, and then now they play it wide as we go into the extra time portion of the half, Coach. 45 minutes complete. We'll see how much time they want to add here, and this ball now will go out.
Tolbert couldn't get his footwork sorted out on that one, Matt, and really let Duluth off the hook.
Throw coming up here now for Med City. As the throw comes in, Sabatini popped in the O by Doyle. And now we're going to have a foul called on Tolbert again. And he's another one of those guys that's playing on a yellow, Coach. And like I said, these guys have got to start being a little bit more careful both ways here.
Yeah, that's going to be an accumulation at some point, Matt, and especially when it's late and studs are showing. Now, again, I don't think there's any malice in it. I think he's just a bit late, but to your point, they've got to be careful here.
Doyle on the right foot. In the middle now, Connor Behan trying to get a shot away, has it deflected. Cleared away now, off the right foot, finds its way back now, Zabatini. Zabatini continuing his run, coming forward now. Dylan Zabatini. Now ball forward, Doyle handling it down. Zabatini again trying to step through here. And now taking it wide here is Jake Strachan. That one out of play. A throw now coming up for the Blue Greens. We're into our second minute now of extra time here in the first 45 minutes. No score. Been very tight throughout, as expected.
Matt, you know how I can tell when a center back is from Brazil? Like Zabatini there?
What's that?
Is when they are so comfortable in the final third as a center back. You see him get up into the final third on the offensive side of it, and you just see him actually kind of shift in like he's kind of at home in that space.
And now it'll be a throw here for Josh Bellamy. We're into the third minute here of extra time, and I expect that we'll have a whistle here any second. As the throw comes in now, Jake Starling. Solaris. Play off of Andre Solaris on this one. Looks like they're just going to try to defend and kill off the half here as Med City. And on the outside now, Zabatini. Into the middle, Doyle. Ball to the outside. Bellamy into the middle of the shot. The ball's loose and they score! Felipe Santos on the goal. Number 6 on the season for him, and the Blue Greens strike before halftime and lead it 1-0.
Matt, and it's one that kind of comes out of nowhere, right? So Rory Doyle just kind of fires one up there, and as it first popped off his foot, I thought maybe this one's going too fast. And then I realized it's Josh Bellamy on the end of it. He's not going to get outrun by the ball. Catches up to it in no time, plays it across. I think it was Limmer that got the first touch on it. It almost was an own goal, and then it popped off Limmer and then finds its way right in front of Felipe Santos. We talked about him in the pregame, Matt, what a difference maker he can be. Gets the goal, and just like that, Duluth goes into halftime up 1-0.
Salvatore, Brazil, the hometown of Felipe Santos. They can be proud of him here today. He scores goal number 6 on the season. The Blue Greens lead it 1-0 here, just on the cusp of halftime, and that'll change things up here at halftime, Coach, in terms of strategy, but big play there. And like you said, there's that dangerous play. Josh Bellamy starting it out, sending that ball in, and then Santos, who, like we said, has been a difference maker all year, and there's the halftime whistle. Just before the stroke of halftime, Felipe Santos with the goal, the 45th minute, the time officially, and Duluth FC will head into the intermission leading it by the score of 1-0, and really that goal kind of coming sort of out of nowhere, Coach, based on how the two teams have played this first 45 minutes in a way.
Yeah, Matt, and now Duluth's got a task at hand. So obviously I don't think either team really expected to be going into halftime up 1-0 because of the way the first half kind of went. Duluth goes in, they've got to realize that this is only the first 45, right? So they've got to go in, and you can see they're obviously very amped up about the goal scored and all that, but they've got to go in now and calm things down, and they've got to come back out in the second half with the urgency to play a full 45 minutes now ahead of them.
So Duluth FC leads at 1-0. Santos the goal, and they will take a one-goal advantage into the break. Your score at the break: Duluth FC 1, Med City 0. We'll take an extended audio break and come back at the start of the second half in about 15 minutes of this NPSL North Conference title game between Duluth FC and Med City FC. Right after this, this is Blue Green Soccer, brought to you by the Duluth FC Stream Team.
Hi, I am Dr. Lauren Wallace. I am one of the primary care physicians at St. Luke's Miller Creek Medical Clinic. I always tell people the most important thing is that they are in control of their health. We talk about joint decision makings. It's a decision that we make together on what's the next step. I want them to improve their health, right? That's the whole goal of medicine. And so we sit down and we talk about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then we make a plan. How do we get to that point in the healthiest way possible?
For your heart, for your hope, for your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Matt Johnson and Joe Mooney back here just before the start of the second half of this NPSL North playoff title game between Duluth FC and Med City FC. Sees the Blue Greens in a wild conclusion to the opening 45 minutes score the game's first goal. Felipe Santos, a native of Salvador, Brazil, with his 6th of the season. We're tentatively giving 1 assist to Tyler Limmer. Josh Bellamy actually played the ball in. That led to the goal, Coach, but what a way to end the half for Duluth FC. They lead at 1-0, and as we said, now that's going to change up things, I would think, pretty dramatically both ways here as to how the second 45 minutes is going to be played.
Yeah, Matt, I think what it does is it forces Med City to come out and play a little bit more. I think the other thing, we talked about this at halftime, you and I did, that, for Scott Neal, I think, he's obviously just such a class player. He's been able to sit in a little bit more in the first half and just kind of dictate the game from the midfield. They're going to need to have him be more of a difference maker in the final third, Med City is, if they're going to try to get back on the score sheet. And so that's going to pull him out of the midfield a bit. And I think that what it's going to do is it's going to actually start to give Duluth a little bit more of those midfield lanes that they want to try to find as they're playing out. I think, Matt, again, I would be surprised if Sean Morgan doesn't go to his bench fairly early in this second half. Obviously, he's had to already, with the substitution of Dylan Zabatini in for Santi Arazo. And from what we've seen over the summer, Duluth hasn't loved to sub early. They usually wait until at least the 60th minute, if not even a bit later in the game. But I do think that some adjustments are going to need to be made. And, obviously going up a goal here, they're in good shape, but there's 45 minutes left. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to say that Duluth carried the run of play in the first half, right?
I would tend to agree. It was, I would say, probably 55-45 Med City, the way they wanted to play it probably in that first half. They did a really good job defensively, did the mayhem, creating mayhem, if you will, for the Blue Greens, especially trying to build out of the back. Like I said, they were dropping an extra player into the middle, so Duluth FC, they like to use those channels in the middle. Really, that was cut off. And you could definitely make the argument that the goal came against the run of play, although it wasn't a severe run of play, that's for sure. There was, some chances created both ways. Neither team really had a good scoring opportunity per se in that opening 45 minutes, Coach, until Santos scores that goal.
Yeah, Matt. So here's the age-old question for a coach, right? So, for Med City, obviously, I would think that the staff was pretty happy with that first half.
Right.
Yeah. And so you look at it and you say, okay, we're down a goal. Do we need to change things to try to get back on the score sheet, or do we look at it and say, things were working, we were getting the chances that we wanted, we were dictating the game the way that we wanted to dictate it? Do we just kind of stick with what was working and have the confidence that that's going to produce the goal? So it'll be interesting to see if there is any kind of a tactical shift here for Med City in the second half.
It appears there have not been any substitutions at the break here. We also keep in mind here, Coach, 5 players playing on a yellow card, 3 for Duluth FC, 2 for Med City. And so we'll also keep an eye on that, because that could also become a factor here as to how the second half unfolds, as right away off the kick, Med City, of course, beginning the second half here with the kickoff, and it'll be a throw now coming up for Duluth FC. Miles Edmondson will take it here. And Brian Wood's going to push him back about 5 yards here. So the throw comes in now. Here's Colin O'Mahony, who remains in the game. And then the head back is a little too tall for Edmondson, and it'll be a throw now coming up for Med City. It'll be taken here by the right back, Matthias Milla, here, right at midfield. As he throws it in now, Tristan Jamu, who had a couple of opportunities to break forward in the first half, trying to come forward there. And now Scott Neal takes down Andreas Solaris, and we'll have a free kick now for the Blue Greens, about 10 yards on their side of midfield. Looks like Duluth FC wants to go quickly here. But I tend to agree with you, Coach, as far as the first 45 minutes. Med City was playing it at the tempo they wanted to. Duluth FC, a team that likes to transition quickly and score goals if they can. And Med City, not a team that likes to hurry up the game, really. They tend to play very much to their own tempo. As Zabatini now over the top, here's Jake Starling. Starling for Duluth FC, squares it outside. Here's Josh Bellamy. Limmer now stepping through, tried to flick it with the inside of his right foot. Intercepted now by Med City, and now they come forward. Jamu laying it back now, Millward. Nice tackle there by Solaris.
Great tackle there from Andres.
And now Rory Doyle breaking back to their direction. Trying to play it over the top. He's got Santos, who is onside. Limmer was not, so he peeled off. Now it's Santos, the goal scorer. And it'll go out of play, and it'll be a goal kick here. Nice play by Milla, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that off of Santos, and we'll have a goal kick now coming up for Iker Gonzalez.
Good tackle there from Milla, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, good patience there from Rory Doyle to find Felipe out on the left. You know, Limmer was trying to get back on side, but the line for Med City kept raising up, right? So he was out of space. He couldn't play into Limmer's feet. So to find Felipe kind of breaking that line there, nice little chip into the left side. And
Gonzalez giving it a ride toward midfield. Jamu rising for it. Volleyed out of the way now. Headed back in the air now by Wilkinson, who, by the way, is one of the 5 players playing on a yellow card. And now here's Bellamy trying to send it forward. I think Duluth FC on that play is just going to try to get their spacing and their shape correctly here defensively, as Gonzalez now will play it wide. And that one picked off now alertly here by Miles Edmondson. Edmondson now taking it toward the 18, curls the ball in. That could have been dangerous as O'Mani was coming backside. Now brought down Doyle for Tolbert. It's tangled up with Andreas Solaris, and now they're going to call a foul on Solaris.
yeah, it's the original foul there. It is a foul. You know, I think he's letting Tolbert play on. The original foul was for Andreas for running into Tolbert's back, but what I saw there too, Matt, is just Solaris' body control as he kind of bounced off Tolbert and just like was still running at full stride, kind of like half forward, half backward. Like his body control is it's an artwork to watch.
There's Neal drawing a foul now on Behan. Scott Neal, who does a little bit of everything. He's sort of jack of all trades for Med City, it seems. They tend to drop him in, like you said, in the midfield, one of the better playmakers on this team. As this ball now comes forward, here's a shot off the left foot there, taken by Lucas Hart, right at Zeke Foltz.
Great first touch there from Hart on the diagonal run that he was making. You know, that ball came to the outside of his left foot. He took it down in stride right into his running path to get that shot off.
Zeke not particularly happy, I would guess, with that particular punted ball high. Came off of his foot. Now Duluth FC, though, collecting. Here's Behan coming forward, playing the ball into space, looking for O'Mani, or Limmer, excuse me, and now Gonzalez coming out. Takes the ball off of his foot. We play on here as Neal. His ball forward, that's intercepted.
What a ball in there from Behan, and Limmer just had a great angle as he chased it down. You could hear the fans wanted to call on the goalkeeper. I agree, Matt. I don't think, you know, there was hard contact there, and I'm sure Limmer's going to feel that tonight and tomorrow. But the goalkeeper had position on that ball, and there was no foul there.
I didn't think there was a foul there either. That would have been a very generous call for Duluth FC, as Solaris now pops it in the air. Speaking of Limmer, he's back up off the turf, trying to bring it down. Now here's Behan stepping through. Outside, here's Santos. Felipe Santos, who, by the way, scored the goal for Duluth FC in the 1-1 tie down in Rochester, and now he lets a shot go, and that one just misses the near corner.
Matt, a few of the fans were up on their feet. They thought that was in, but
Felipe Santos has proven to be a difficult matchup for everybody, Med City included.
Yeah, Matt, he's just so fluid on the ball, and he can carry the ball at pace, and he stops on a dime. He's been a fun player to really watch kind of take hold this summer.
Yes, indeed, as we will have now a goal kick here now for Iker Gonzalez.
So, Matt, we talked about in the first half, you know how I know a center defender is from Brazil.
Going down is Jamu. Now squaring it outside, here's Lucas Hart. Continuing it on, here's Milla. Matthias Milla now to the edge of the 18, and we're going to have a foul called here against Zabatini, who was wrestling with Tolbert. Two guys on yellow cards going at it right there. So they're both taking chances there.
Yeah, well, I mean, quite a few players on the pitch right now are on yellow cards.
Yeah.
Matt. I think for Med City, I've got it counted here. Tolbert and Wilkinson are both on a yellow card, and then for Duluth, it's O'Mani, Miles Edmondson, and Dylan Zabatini on yellow cards coming into the second half.
Correct. So that's 5 players, like I said, playing on yellows right now. As Hart standing over this one here, about 22, 23 yards away from goal. Dangerous position here for the Mayhem, to say the least. And Millward standing over it on the right foot. Hart on the left foot. 4-player wall for Duluth FC, about 7 yards into their 18. As the shot is taken, and that one will deflect out off the wall, and we'll have a corner kick coming up. Never a bad thing when the wall gets a piece of it.
Yeah, Matt, I couldn't tell if that went off of Edmondson there, or I think it might have gone off of Connor Behan.
Is it a throw? I thought it was a corner kick. Apparently it's just a throw. My depth perception from this angle, not the greatest, Coach, as the throw comes in now from Milla, and now taken away. Here's Santos. Trying to make a speed move, goes right around Jamu. Keeps going now. Now Tolbert trying to run him down, and he'll tackle it out. It's a good thing, too, because Santos, who now is clearly fired up after scoring the goal and getting a good opportunity towards goal just a moment ago. He's having another standout game, is Felipe Santos.
Matt, what a display of speed there as Santos just blew by the defender. We talked about that fluid speed that he has, and then, you know, for Tolbert to track him down as well, albeit he did have a nice angle on it, but showed off his speed there.
Starling now here is Santos. He'll play it back. Here's Roy Doyle. Doyle, angling ball, far side. Colin O'Mahony will run it down in the corner. Checked by Rasmussen. Trying to get a cross away. Good job by Rasmussen to close it down. Now ball forward. Here's Jamu. To the outside, Hart. Josh Bellamy coming up a little bit lame now. Seems to be all right though. And here's Behan. Has Bellamy with him. Gets it to the outside. Sends it in. Now here's Limmer. Goes over the top of him. Now Santos back post. And just ran out of room.
Couldn't quite get that last angle.
Yeah, trying to get it back, I think, to the 6. Both Behan and Limmer were standing there. And we'll have a goal kick now coming up for Gonzalez here. 54th minute. Still 1-0 Duluth FC in the lead. Lone goal, Felipe Santos, his 6th of the season. Limmer and Bellamy with the helpers, and that's where we stand, Coach.
So, Matt, do you know how I know when a forward is from Brazil?
Oh, no.
He's either got one name or he's got 3 or more names. Like Felipe Luis Santos, right?
Yes.
It's a shout out to all my Brazilian players over the years.
And you've had
Love
some
you all.
very, very good ones, certainly in black and yellow.
Terrific players, Matt, and I love their culture. The culture that those guys bring into an organization. You see it here with Duluth as well.
The throw coming up now, as you see Andres Solares coming forward that time, and very hard tackle on Millward, just making sure he knew it was there, perfectly clean. As the throw comes in now for Milla, and he goes all the way back now. Gonzalez to the outside now. Straychan got through him. Rasmussen there, however, to clean up. Now it's Gonzalez outside of his 18. Duluth FC going to settle in here. Looks like a 4-5-1 look defensively here. Connor Behan now is going to be the primary man here on top here, Coach.
Yeah, now Limmer comes back in. And
There's
opportune
Limmer,
timing there.
And Limmer was going to try to chip the keeper as Gonzalez was outside of his 18. That was ambitious from Tyler Limmer, but
yeah, and I don't think the 4th official knew necessarily as he waved Limmer on that the ball was going to kind of end up right into his running path there.
Gonzalez now sends it wide. Solares heading it down. Doyle outside now, trying to get to Limmer. Might have hit him in the back of the shoes with that one. And now here's Neal. Scott Neal. Jamu now turning away from pressure. Tristan Demu. Now angling ball coming near side. Hart brings it down.
Good touch there from Miles Edmondson.
Miles Edmondson able to pick that ball off. It's Doyle in the middle. Solares. Limmer. Heavy touch there from Tyler. Comes back now. Manny. Bellamy. Duluth FC does seem quite a bit more settled now, Coach, though, than they did in the entire first half, really.
Yeah, they're starting to find a lot better lanes here, Matt. And again, it's a nod to the coaching staff for the job that they do making adjustments throughout the game.
That ball over the top for Santos. A little bit too much on it. Now will be a free kick off the offside, and Wilkinson taking a little bit of a liberty there with the ball coming forward, and Brian Wood having none of it. Bringing the ball back, we'll have a free kick now. Wilkinson.
Matt, I think the other part of it here for Duluth that's playing to their advantage is it looks like Med City is flattened out into more of a almost a true 4-3-3 formation. So Hart's kind of come up and taken more like the right winger spot.
Now here's Tolbert trying to come forward, taking it wide. Tolbert with the shot attempt, and that one saved by Zeke Volz. Had a good angle on it. Tolbert was looking for a call. They're not going to get that kind of call. And now getting clipped is Doyle, and we're going to have a foul called on Hart.
Really good recovery run there from Andreas Solaris. I think Tolbert might have had Jake Starling beat, and Solaris took advantage of his angle to go and challenge that ball from Tolbert. In the end, Zeke makes a good save as well.
A free kick now coming up here. Zavattini will give it a ride over the top. Santos now and putting the pressure on. Miller had no choice but to just play that ball out. It'll be a throw here for Duluth FC. Miles Edmondson will take the toss. And now, here's Limmer. In the middle now, Solaris. Zavattini laying it wide now. Here's Rory Doyle trying to switch it. Second ball picked up though off that one by Bellamy. Plays it wide. O'Mani. Rasmussen trying to stand him up. And we're going to have a throw coming up here.
Upcoming throw-in sponsored by Clyde Ironworks.
Med City going to have to bring that ball back as well.
Man, I look over the far side. It looks like Kosti Demarazzi is
getting ready to come in here.
Yeah, I saw him warming up on the sideline for a bit there, and now he's getting, looks like some last-second instructions from head coach Sean Morgan. And
he will certainly add some creativity to the mix for Duluth FC when he comes into the game. We know all about his creativity when he has the ball, especially at his feet. And we'll see what kind of impact he makes as now Gonzalez on the outside. Playing it forward. Ball brought down now. Here's Doyle. Doyle for Behan. I think that Domrotsky, by the way, will probably come in for O'Man. He would be our guess. Doyle now tracking back. Play it all the way back now. Foltz over the top, near side. Zavattini. They're playing that high press very strongly right now is Med City. You expect them to do that here pretty much for the rest of the game, especially after, or as long as they're down 1-0, excuse me. As O'Mani now on the outside. And he'll draw a throw. Now the throw comes in now here for the Blue Greens. Over the top, Limmer will track it. Comes all the way back for Gonzalez on the outside, Rasmussen. Straight Chan will give it a ride over the top. Now Solaris. Ball is loose, and now and we'll have a free kick and maybe a card now issued to Solaris here, it appears. As we're into the 60th minute now, it's still 1-0 your score. We'll have to go into the 61st minute. Domorotsky's going to come in here sooner rather than later, coach. He's standing right at midfield.
So yeah, Matt, the card issued to Andreas Solaris, and I have to say, I think if I trust any player for Duluth FC to play on a yellow,
it's going to be number 6 in white here.
Yeah, not only is he just a really smart player, Matt, and he knows, like we talked about, some of that body control and all that, but he's also got probably the most minutes right now for Duluth on a yellow.
In the air, easy pickings there for Fall. Social goes, and now what's he going to call? And they're going to call apparently Wilkinson on the foul. I'm not sure.
He stopped the game because it looked like Wilkinson had gone down with maybe a head injury, but
that'll allow Domorotsky to come in, by the way. I see Domorotsky, who did not start tonight. And he'll come in, and it's like, who's going to check out here? There's that maybe O'Mani's going to stay into the game here.
Looks like maybe they're not allowing him to sub.
Yeah, it might not be. O'Mani was getting ready to come off, and then way back on. The official on the far side was holding his flag. And looks like it's going to be Connor Behan that gets away. So that's interesting.
Coming off the field, number 17, Connor Behan.
So they're going to put Domorotsky, it looks like, more into a central midfield role, which is where he played all last year for Duluth FC.
No, I think what they're doing, Matt, is they're going to keep Kosti out wide, and they've actually put O'Mani in as another midfielder.
Okay. So Domorodski comes in. And now a skipping ball here from Foltz. Doyle outside of the foot, bending it inside the near sideline. And now clearing it, here's Hart trying to head it down. Edmondson playing it back, and now skied over midfield. Jamu trying to maintain his position and now getting knocked over. And that was a straight up bowl over of Andre Solaris by number 14.
Yeah, and he hasn't
Matthew
given
Roberts.
He hasn't given the foul, man. It's actually just a throw-in.
Wow, that's.
So Matt, I will say, you know, this is the downside again to calling the game so tightly is you have to loosen it up at some point and let them play. But now all the players are used to what they saw in the first half being called. And so it creates this sort of feeling of inconsistency amongst the players. You're not real sure what a foul is anymore and what it's not.
And there's a foul, and that was a grab of the shirt by Neal. And boy. They grabbed Doyle from behind on that one. And
yeah, and I'm sure what Doyle is talking about right now is that it should have been advantage. You know, if you're gonna call the foul, it better come along with a card.
Sabatini now will play it forward, and Gonzalez will call off Wilkinson, and he'll play it into his own 18 here. 64th minute, still 1-0. As Rasmussen coming forward. Limmer putting pressure on him, and the ball will come all the way back now. Gonzalez sending it near side. Edmondson rising for the head ball. Now here's Santos. Felipe Santos now turning away, and now he gets slid from behind and gets his ankle taken out. Brian Witt says play on. Now Tolbert trying to turn.
Great turn there from Tolbert.
And there's the shot. That one was definitely going wide by me. Matthew Roberts, excuse me, but taking no chances on that one, and Miller might have gotten away with one. He came in. Wood said he got the ball. We're in the 64th minute, giving it a ride. That was very close, Coach. As this ball now coming forward. Playing it back now, Wilkinson. Back to the outside. Rasmussen. Gonzalez.
Yeah, and I think if you're Duluth, Matt, here, you want to try to find Kosti's feet as soon into his shift as possible. Oh, and that's going to be Sabatini's second yellow, and that's a really soft yellow card, Matt.
Yeah, that's.
Matt, I'm actually really shocked there that he's given a second yellow for innocuous shoulder-to-shoulder foul.
Questionable call, to say the least, by Brian Wood. I'm sorry, Brian Wood, but especially with some of the things he's let go now here in the second half.
Yeah, Matt, as an officiating crew, you never want to be the ones to determine the outcome of a game.
Yeah,
and obviously, I guess I wouldn't say he's gone that far, but he's certainly made a big impact on the game by that call. And
Sean Morgan, understandably, into the fourth official's ear, big time on that far side. That's
well, and the fact that there was no call on the slide on Felipe, moments before that. Again, this is the problem is players right now don't know what a foul is, what a card is.
Now on the outside, Med City with the man advantage. That changes things up again. Now to the outside, 25 minutes to go. Here's the shot by Hart, right in on goal, and that one will be brought down by Zeke Foltz, and he'll hold on to it here.
So it looks like, Matt, they brought in O'Mani to be the other center back on the left of Jake Starling there. So it'll be Starling and O'Mani in the center with Edmondson and Bellamy on the outsides.
By the way, if Duluth FC does win this game, that means that, I believe by league rules, that Sabatini will not be available for the Midwest region, his first round game.
Yeah, and so, and then we're not sure what the final story is on Arazzo either. So, they could possibly be missing two of their center backs for the next round.
And that is. Scott Neal actually probably should have had a yellow card earlier for his grab of the jersey. And that was clearly from behind. And see, this is where Brian Wood's getting himself into trouble now with some of these calls he's made.
Yeah, and you can hear the crowd is obviously upset with it.
And they should be.
And Matt
That was clearly from behind by Scott Neal. And
yeah, in an isolated situation, again, it's a yellow card, you know, and it's no more than that. But I think that the frustration coming from Duluth and from the fans here is that when you look at the foul that got Zavattini sent off, and you look at that foul.
That was a much more aggressive foul. And
so this is where Duluth needs to, you know, show the professionalism that they've had throughout the season, and if they're going to see this game out, you know, they need to calm their own nerves a bit. And it looks like that's what guys like Rory Doyle and Andreas Solaris are trying to do here.
This ball now comes in off the free kick, brought down. This ball now comes wide. Here's Neal. Now Tolbert, near side.
Good tackle there from Miles Edmondson, the makeshift center back.
Yeah, that was actually O'Mahony coming over.
Sorry,
the tackle.
sorry, O'Mahony. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. And now Santos is down.
Matt, I think that's like the fourth or fifth position that O'Mahony's played this summer. He's really been a utility player.
Well, he actually is the defensive player of the year in his conference and for his college. It's for Cal State Monterey Bay, actually. And he was his conference defensive player of the year, so he's more than capable of playing in the back as we are in the 69th minute now.
So if Santos has to come out, Matt, it'll be interesting to see. It looks like they've got Tom Akinola warming up. They've got Felipe Oliveira warming up over there. It looks like Felipe Arteaga actually has his penny off and is getting ready to come in. I would think that's probably a like-for-like sub, though. They said Arteaga on for Felipe Santos, and you see Christy Wilkie there giving the signal to make that switch.
So yeah, Felipe Arteaga now is going to come to the midfield stripe. We're going to have a throw here, it looks like, for. And Arteaga is going to check in here. So he's in. FC still playing with 10 men here. Still got a lot of time in this game, more than 20 minutes to go.
Good injury substitution coming off the field, number 7, Felipe.
So Santos done for the night. Now they play it to the edge of the 18. Here's Roberts bringing him in deep. And now he's given a penalty kick on top of everything else. So Lars came in.
Man, it was hard to see from our angle.
Yeah, I don't.
Did he get a touch on the ball, Solaris?
I thought he got a piece of the ball as well.
Looks like both teams trying to make a case here, and I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
we'll see what the.
So the officiating crew does have headsets on, Matt, so I think. Or maybe I'm mistaken. I thought they were putting headsets on at the beginning of the game, which allows the full crew to talk to each other in these situations.
So it'll be a penalty kick here, and now, boy, the complexion has really changed here in the 71st minute. It'll be Jamua, looks like, who will take it. And Zeke Foltz now. Will stand in here.
Let's make some noise.
And Tristan Jamua now will step up here. As Jamua steps up, gets the shot away, and it scores anyway.
Oh, that's tough for Zeke Foltz. He made the save, and it just the spin of the ball just kind of dipped in
Getting
by
a
him.
piece of it. Jamu had just enough on it to get a pass from the PK spot. And all the breaks right now going Med City's way as they tie this game up 1 apiece. So now it's 1-1. And a man advantage to boot now for Med City. And uphill climb now for the Blue Greens based on the way the second half has gone here. As Millennial plays it over the top. Here's Jamu. Playing it back now. Here's Toby Millward.
So Matt, if you're Duluth FC here, you need to start to rely on some things that have put you, in a good position up to this point in the season. So obviously they're a man down.
Right.
You see what they've done is they've sort of moved into a 4-4-1 formation with Doyle and Solares as the 2 center midfielders, with Costi and Arteaga playing as the wings, with Tyler Limmer the lone forward. And I think what they need to do is they need to start to rely on some of their depth.
Yep, I agree.
They're going to be down a man, but they do have quite a few playmakers that are on the field and guys that can sub on the bench. They need to find plays in the channels that can allow them to get into isolation opportunities.
Free kick here, now 30 yards away from goal. As Tolbert goes down. Standing over this one, looks like it'll be Millward here, 30 yards on the right. In the 74th minute now. Still a lot of game left to be played here. As Millward now playing it into the 18.
Well done there from O'Mani.
Stoppage on the field, sponsored by.
And we'll have a free kick now for Duluth FC. It'll be taken by Starling as he'll send it wide. Manny playing it over the top. No, Domorotsky has it. Plays it wide. Arteaga now. Into the 18, here is Domorotsky. Domorotsky trying to take it wide. Crosses it into the 18, cleared away. Now they try to spring Jamu. Taken back by the Blue Greens. Starling. Bellamy. The outside now, Arteaga. Trying to take it wide, and it will be, it looks like a corner kick. So Duluth FC showing a little bit of life here, 75th minute, despite being down a man.
So Matt, that's exactly what they need to start to rely on. So you think about some of the players in that sequence. Jake Starling kind of started out with his ball one. Between Starling, Solaris, Domorotsky, you've got a lot of guys, a lot of experience here. They've been in positions like this before.
Here's Domorotsky now. As we enter the 76th minute. Line drive kick comes in, it's cleared away. Now Tolbert on the outside, who drew the penalty kick, by the way. Now cleared forward. Limmer trying to run it down. Is it taken off with his foot? Now ball over the top. Here's Tolbert trying to make a move.
Tackle there from Bellamy had to happen.
Josh Bellamy had to happen on that one. Now O'Mani. Now Foltz will give it a ride back over midfield. Domorotsky now coming in. Nearly a turnover there is Domorotsky now. Fresh legs. Here's Starling coming forward. Balling it to the outside. And it'll go out of play. It'll be a Duluth FC throw here coming up. As we're about to go in the 77th minute. Bellamy will take the toss. Shoving the back on Arteaga will result in a free kick for the Blue Greens now.
Man, I think Duluth is starting to settle into this.
Yeah, they're starting to settle into this 10-on-11 situation a little bit more.
Hey fans, just make sure we're keeping our tempers in check and not taking it on the referee. Thank you very much. Let's support our Blue Greens and the positive things we do on the field. Thank you.
Free kick here coming up. Play it to the outside. Here's Artiega now coming inside, getting a shot away, and the save will be made by Gonzalez.
So Matt, even down a man, Duluth is starting to find some seams in here.
Yeah, starting to find a little bit of room to work. There's Strachan now in the middle, Millward playing it back. This ball comes forward now. Roberts scoring it to the outside. Rasmussen back in the middle, another turnover. Limmer had it momentarily. Now he loses it as Roberts picks it back up. Limmer has it taken off of his foot. Now Jamu to the outside. As this ball is played forward. Now Doyle, and we're going to have a foul called, I think, on Med City here as bring it back to the outside here. I think Artiega. What's the call here now? He's giving a yellow card to who? Bellamy?
Yeah, Matt, and at this point, I'm not even
Completely
going to.
baffled.
I'm not going to venture a guess. I don't know. Again,
Well, he's definitely become a part of this game, and that's not where you want to be.
I'm at a loss. I'm not sure what a foul is anymore. I'm certainly not sure what a card is. Matt, I had a lot of positive comments for the officiating crew in the first half, and
I think he's lost the plot
I'm
here.
just kind of.
As this ball now comes in, and Foltz goes down, and now a foul going to be called against Med City.
Yeah, and he's forcing Zeke to put the ball on the ground rather than play out of his hands.
The free kick. Now near side, making move around a couple of players. And this time he just ran out of room there. Did Domorotsky's and made a move around Milla. Really pretty move by Domorotsky there as we're in the 80th minute now.
His follow-up touch was just a little bit heavy, Matt, but Kosi has certainly kind of risen to the task here, and that's exactly the kind of player, you know, to only have, 19 minutes on his legs right now is, a great position for him to be in. He can come in and just really kind of make his mark on the game.
So 81st minute.
I think that's
now it's like Paul Ballby is going to come in here. And he's going to replace Josh Bellamy, it appears here.
Substitution coming off the field for the Blue Greens. Number 2, Josh Bellamy. Let him hear it.
Bowby looks like track out on top here. Miller with the throw.
Man, that's Tom Akinola that just came in.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I got him mixed up. My apologies. So Akinola's in there now. Here's Neal. Ball forward. Here's Roberts. Playing into space now. Tolbert on a turn. Cuts back, gets a shot away, and the save's going to be made by Foltz. Those sure hands coming through in a big way there.
Yeah, Matt, I think there's just a bit of confusion right now from Duluth over what formation they're in. I think they're going to go to a 3-back.
Ball to the outside. Here's Artiega. Playing the ball on now. Domorotsky. Millward tracking back, and now he plays it out. I'm going to say it deflects off of Domorotsky, so we'll have a throw coming up. 82nd minute. Throw comes in, far side. Roberts just popping it into the air. Now tracking back, Limmer. Played short. Ball over the top now from Edmondson. Second ball now brought down. Akinola. Artiega now to the outside. Domorotsky coming in, now gets a shot away, and that one will be stopped by Gonzalez.
Yeah, it looks like Duluth is starting to sort out this new formation, man. It looks like it's kind of like a almost a 3-5-1 maybe, or a, maybe you call it a 3-4-2.
Rasmussen
yeah,
now.
I would say it's a 3-4-2, so it's a back three.
Straight Chan now.
Back three with Edmondson, Starling, and O'Mani.
Ball forward now, here's Jamu. Turning through Doyle, playing it wide. Millen now making the run. On the overlap, decided not to use Neal. Plays it back in the middle. Heavy touch there. Jamu able to keep it alive though. Well done by him. Now plays it on the outside. Now Jamu into the middle. Headed away by Duluth FC. Now Domorotsky coming forward. Rasmussen able to stop his progress. It's Hart now able to win that ball back. And now Mayhem will send it near side. Ball forward. Here's Starling now coming forward. He has Akinola on the right. Uses Domorotsky. Now Starling playing it into space. Artiega.
Just curled away from Felipe Artiega there. It's a good look from Jake Starling.
Gonzalez now playing it forward. Edmondson. Limmer. Now Solaris. Now Limmer will go all the way back. Duluth FC playing this pretty smart right now, Coach.
Yeah, they've really started to sort out some of the problems that being down a man has presented to them.
Now it's Solaris. Doyle. Outside now O'Mani. In the middle, Solaris. Now he's got some room to work. Comes forward, tried to clip it over the top for Limmer. Instead he brings it down, gets a shot away, and the save is going to be made.
He made good contact with it.
He did. Duluth FC actually playing a little bit better these last 10 minutes or so.
And I like Solaris' chances from just about anywhere in the field. He's not necessarily a goal scorer, but he is a great striker of the ball. And just a player that if there's going to be anybody that steps up in a situation, man, I think it's got to be, you know, a player like Andreas Solaris.
Now, apparently a handball on Scott Neal, at least according to the Duluth FC bench, goes uncalled. We play on. Here's Jamu. And now I'm not sure where he's going with that ball. The ball to nobody in particular, just playing it off into the corner. It's interesting. Med City has not made a substitution in this game. They've played all 11 guys that are on the field right now the entire night.
Yeah, man, I think it's almost given an advantage a little bit to Duluth because there are more fresh legs out there for Duluth. And so while Duluth FC is a man down, they've got guys that can run and make up for some of those, some spatial deficiencies there.
On the outside now, here's Hart. Hart playing a ball forward, O'Mani. Now here's Domorotsky. Got Akinola with him. Decides to go wide. Now Domorotsky on the full run against Rasmussen. And it'll be a throw here coming up for the Blue Greens, 86th minute.
Duluth's got to labor a little bit to compress their lines as they get the ball forward.
Solaris playing it wide. Now here's Limmer. Limmer now playing a ball over the top. And Gonzalez able to snare it. They roll it short. Here's Toby Millward coming forward. Millward taking his time, picks out Neal.
Looks like Med City's got their first sub lined up at midfield.
Yeah. Waited until the 87th minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's going to be
it.
his second yellow card.
Yeah, and his heart goes down, and now Duluth FC in real trouble here, Coach. 2 red cards.
Where's your consistent calling, ref?
That's a yellow card on
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Sean Morgan does here. At this point, Matt, you're down 2 players. I think you've got to kind of try to at least get into extra time, right?
Yeah,
so
that's probably where you're at now. And it's too bad because Duluth FC is really actually outplaying Med City, you could say, for the last about 10 minutes here. But
so so
Even more dangerous coming
formationally,
forward.
I'm just trying to think of what they're going to do here, Matt. And it almost looks like a 5-2-1. Really just trying to. So they've switched Akinola out to the left here. Tyler Limmer as the lone forward. They're going to bring Coasty back into the midfield to try to help out with numbers there.
Jamu now playing it in. And that one cleared away, and we'll have a corner kick here coming up.
And this corner kick is fueled by Volkswagen of Duluth.
So corner kick coming up here. Duluth playing with 9 players now. Millward will take this one. As he lobs this one. Back post, here's the shot attempt, and that one goes well wide off the back post.
So at this point, Duluth FC, what they need to do is they just need to keep their heads about them. They need to get through these last, 90
minutes,
seconds
yeah.
plus, any kind of injury time. Get into the extra time
Right,
and come up with a game plan at that point.
Right?
So I think
Looks like Starling's getting some directions from Sean Morgan right now in terms of the formation that they're going to play.
so. Tyler Limmer's going to check out. Paul Bobi will come in here in the 89th minute, checking out the amount of salvage time we have. I'm guessing probably 3 or 4 minutes here, Coach. And then I believe the rules, by the way, for extra time.
Yeah, Matt, this is.
I'm getting to the point where I'm beginning to think this game is being butchered a bit here, Coach.
Yeah, Matt, there's just. It's unfortunate because I think the storyline for a good chunk of the game was 2 very good teams, a lot of great
Right,
players that we got a chance to watch, and it's really become the refereeing here over the last 25 minutes or so, and it's too bad to see that happen in a game.
Well, we've seen that before. In Minneapolis City a few years ago, we saw something like that happen, and this ball sent forward, now headed forward. Bobi will flick it back toward the midfield.
And again, Matt, if Duluth FC finds a way to get through this one, they're going to be without Zavatini and Solaris for the next round. And that's where the officiating crew needs to be aware of, just the implications for some of these calls. That's not just tonight's game that this has really had a negative impact on. But
So we're into now the extra time portion of the second half. See how much Brian Wood wants to give here. Gets the ball forward. Now Metsley will send it outside. Here's Millward. Sending it in now out on top. Jamu will take a shot. That one didn't make its way through. Now they'll give it another shot, and that one comes in. Excuse me, that's the substitute, Giovanni Soros, who got that look.
we shouldn't forget either that he made the initial save on the penalty kick too, and it just unfortunately kind of just slid in by him. But
Med City very lucky to even have a goal in this game, to be honest with you. If we're being really honest, which seeing that you're playing 11 on 9, certainly has feathered Duluth FC's cap in that regard. O'Mani will take this one, plays it over the top. Gonzalez comes off of his line. Now plays it to the outside. Neal trying to come forward. As the ball now is switched near side for Tolbert. Tolbert now against Edmondson. Another throw coming up now. Second minute of extra time. Stepping up now, Wilkinson. Playing it outside. Here's Roberts. Trying to step through. Out on top now, Soros. Soros playing it wide. Now they attempt to cross in. Headed away by Doyle. Pop back up into the air. And a foul going to be called on Bobai here. And might as well give him a card too while we're at it.
Yeah, Matt, he's been on the field for less than 5 minutes, and that's his first foul of the game, and he's given a yellow card.
That's another yellow. Sponsored by Yellow Coffee.
We're in the 93rd minute here in a moment.
That outcoming free kick sponsored by Kickstarter Soccer.
Millward restarting. Roberts, now they pop it up into the air. Volts will come over and grab it here. I can't remember even all that many fouls he's called on Mid-City here in the second half. Hasn't called many, I'll say that. As this ball is played over the top, headed down. Well, here's Bobai. Into the air. Now here's Neal. Now Neal streaking down the right side. Playing it in the middle. Manny got his foot to it. Now cleared outside. We're into the 4th minute of extra time. Tolbert now edge of the blue-green 18. There's the ball back now for Milla.
Starting to wonder, Matt, how much time is added here in the...
Yeah, we're, like I said, we're in the 4th minute now of added time. Now Jamu trying to turn wide. Plays it in. And that'll be cleared away. And that is the final whistle, so regulation can't decide it. We'll head to extra time. I believe the format for extra time, by the way, in the NPSL is 2 15-minute extra time sessions.
Matt, am I right to say that it's FIFA rules, so there won't be...
I think it is. I think it has to be 15 minutes each way. So I'm guessing it's going to be. There'll be a 2-minute break here. And so 1-1 is your score. So an eventful second half, to say the least, Coach. Game that I think is only going to have a lot of talking points.
Well, if you're Duluth, Matt, it's,
yeah,
you know, now it's a chance to recollect a bit.
Just organize how you want to play these last 30 minutes, and then you're playing 9 on 11 here. 2 red cards against the Blue Greens in the second half. 1 to Dylan Zavattini, 1 to Andreas Solaris. Solaris, you could make the argument, was the more deserving of the 2 calls. Certainly, call on Zavattini is going to be a talking point for the coaching staff after this game.
Yeah, Matt, and again, you go back to even the first yellow card was soft on him, and then, you know, you think about Andreas Solaris, and his first card was soft. You know, and again, you know, you think about a great example, Paul Bobai, you know, comes in and it's his first foul of the game, and it's just he's gone up in the air after the ball, and he's you know, you could argue that he's entered the space, so it's maybe a foul. But to card that is, you know, and then you think about Josh Bellamy's card.
Yep.
What did that? We didn't even
Tom
know there was a foul.
Tom got a call. Yeah, exactly, and he got a
didn't know
card.
there was a foul, and he's been carded. Tom Akinola, it was his first foul of the game. He's getting carded for it, and it just.
The cards have certainly gone one way in the second half. There's no question about that.
Well, Matt, like I said, I think when you try to call everything, you're going to run into this
Yeah.
lack of consistency, and it just you know, and I feel bad for the staff right now. I feel bad for the administration that's put in such a a great summer of work to put this all together. And then I'll say the other thing is, I feel really bad for the players. So
Yeah.
you think about this. Think about Andreas Solaris. If this ends up being the last game that he plays for Duluth
Yeah.
FC, to be sent off in that way is really a shame. And if this ends up being, I mean, for players who are still on the field, if it's, Jake Starling, think about the career that he's had. Think about, Kosti, some of the guys that have been kind of stalwarts here with this club for the last couple of years.
So the situation here, by the way, the lone goal was scored in that second half by the Mayhem. It came in the 71st minute. Tristan Jamu on the penalty kick. And speaking of bad breaks, how about that one for Zeke Fultz? Because if Fultz makes that save and it doesn't trickle over the line, Duluth FC wins this game despite all of that.
Yeah, Matt, good point.
As it is, 1-1,
really good point.
Your score. I mean, we can get as distracted by the officiating as we can, and I hate it to do so, but Jamu, very lucky to score his goal. And if it hadn't been for just a spin of the ball by Jamu, just a little bit too much on it, and Zeke Fultz got most of it, couldn't keep it out. It trickled over the line, and that's the only reason why we're headed the extra time anyway. It's a 1-1 contest, so you've got that part as well. And should this game make its way to penalty kicks, Coach, maybe that becomes part of the factor as well in the thinking for both coaches here. Gonzalez didn't have much to do in that second half. Duluth FC was playing much better, actually, I thought, at 10-on-11. After the red card, after they've settled in a little bit after the second yellow on Dylan Zavattini.
So, Matt, I think what Duluth will come out, I would suspect, is somewhat to what they just kind of they left the first half in a sort of a 4-3-1 formation with the same back four that we just saw leave the half.
By the way, that penalty kick was drawn by Henry Tolbert on the call against Solaris. It was on the far side of the field from where we are sitting, so we didn't have a great view of it. There was an argument made that he got the ball on that play, but center official Brian Wood, who has had a impactful night, we'll just say it that way.
Matt, that's a really what a word you pulled out there, Matt. That's that's
Very
about the
impactful
most
evening for
diplomatic
Mr.
I think
Wood
you
in the
could have
middle,
been
yeah.
there, and I'm proud of you.
I'm doing my best here. And we'll see now. Duluth FC might just try to hunker down and play for penalty kicks here at this point.
Matt, I think they have to. It's going to be trying to play a really low block, and then it's going to be a matter of can they nip a set piece here and there, get numbers
Right,
forward,
yeah, get
temporarily.
Maybe try to draw some fouls as well. They didn't get very many calls in that second half, so. So we had the extra time here. Duluth FC, unbeaten during the season, had an extra time. And a 1-1 draw with Med City. Thought the first half was eventful at the end. The second half, the first half looked like it was calm by comparison. And now here's Edmondson sending the ball forward for Akinola. Tom Akinola, who's one of basically every blue-green player at this point that's playing on a yellow card. Here's O'Mani now over the top. Sent wide. Neal trying to keep it in. He'll touch it out. It will be a throw here for Duluth FC in the 91st minute. A berth in the Midwest Region Tournament next weekend on the line here between these two teams. And it certainly has become more of a war of attrition at this point, Coach, for at least for Duluth FC than anything else. As the throw comes in, popping it up off of his head now, Akinola. Komaratsky trying to step through.
So, Matt, I think it's actually a 3-4-1, I'll call it.
Komaratsky. And now he goes down at the top of the 18, and we'll have a free kick for Duluth FC. And finally, a yellow card given to someone not in white. This one given to Roberts, and that's a good call. And
Yeah,
you're
and
gonna go by
again,
the letter of what he's been calling.
Most soccer games, I don't think that we're going to give that a yellow card, but
Yeah.
the center official has put himself in a situation where essentially every foul now has to be a yellow card.
Yeah.
And again,
So-
it's a shame to see a game. And again, I think these are two teams that play the game very cleanly. I
Right,
don't think
yeah.
of Med City as ever being a dirty team.
No, not at
Obviously,
all.
I don't think Duluth is either. So you would think that the game never needed that kind of, just kind of over aggressive nature in terms of the cards given out.
So Domorotsky standing over on the right foot, Arteaga on the left foot, and Domorotsky just overcooked that one by quite a bit. Instead of trying to place it, I think he tried to power that one, and it rose high and wide, nowhere near the goal. And we will have a goal kick now here for Gonzalez, and he'll start it quickly. To the outside now, Wilkinson. Giovanni Soros now is playing in the back four here. Jake Strachan. It's a return pass from Soros. 93rd minute as this ball comes wide. On the right foot now, it's Wilkinson. Angling ball forward. Jamu will leave it back now. Here's Milla. Started as the right outside back. Now they've moved him more into a forward position as Tolbert continues it on to the outside. Now here's a ball through. And the flag stays down. Shot off the post. Ball still loose. Duluth FC was looking for a call on the offside. Tolbert thinks the far post, so Duluth FC dodges a bullet there. And now here's Akinola, keeping the ball in play,
What
continuing
a
it on
nifty
now.
play on the sideline there from Tom Akinola.
As they'll go all the way back now, here's Gonzalez. Maybe Lady Luck going to turn a little bit here for Duluth FC as we're in the 94th minute of extra time.
Nice turn in there from Tolbert to get that shot free. Duluth was looking for an offside call. The flag stayed down. Great turn from Tolbert. Just
Here's Jamu. Milla
rocket out that post.
turning now on the inside. Here's Neal. Still dancing. Getting it through. Here's Tolbert. Now back to the outside. Here's the shot. That one saved. And then cleared away.
Matt, the crowd's starting to recognize the urgency here and how much they're needed to try to get this team in white to the finish line.
Ball over the top. Now Foltz loses his footing. And then the attempt on the backside now goes over the top. And we'll have a goal kick here coming up.
Snowflake goal kick sponsored by Lake Superior Real Estate Group.
Yeah, Matt, it looks like maybe Zeke Foltz just kind of landed awkwardly.
Yeah, he lost his footing momentarily and popped back up and just trying to run it off here. That was Neal on the back post, by the way, who was trying to chip that ball in off the volley. As it is, it'll be a goal kick. 5th minute here of the first extra session. Looks like Med City is going to try to get some fresh legs in there now at the next opportunity as well, as off the goal kick, it's sent over toward midfield. Neal now with Bobai there. Stepping forward now, Neal on the right foot. Milla playing it back post. Sent through the middle there by Roberts, now cleared away. Akinola back toward midfield.
Yeah, and I think Akinola is going to have to start to sit in a bit more as a midfielder. You know, and obviously the downside of that is there's just not going to be anybody higher than him to chase those balls down, but they've got to play a low block and try to keep this game level.
Milla now continuing it on. Here's Wilkinson coming inside, clipping a ball through the middle. O'Mani gets there, heads it wide. Back for Milla. Edge of the 18. Neal now trying to play it short. Well read that time by Edmondson to break it up. Now comes all the way back for Strachan. Tolbert, who's had himself a heck of a night. Now into the middle. Jamu, continue on again. Here's Milla. Jamu, now playing it in deep. Here's Neal cutting back. Here's Tolbert now trying to step through. And now he has the ball taken off of his foot. Cleared on away. Here's the shot attempt now by Soros. That gets deflected by Akinola. Outside now Neal, crossing it in, and Foltz has it. As we're about to go into the 97th minute now. Duluth FC making it difficult for Med City to even get any space in the middle right now. There's just not a lot of room there.
Yeah, and in some ways what going down that extra man has done is it's really kind of forced Duluth just to be structured defensively. They're not going to risk any numbers forward, and in some ways it may make it more difficult for Med City to try to find those seams.
Oh, here's Akinola. Domoratsky. Back, here's Paul Bobai. Right in the middle now, Jake Starling. To the outside. Colin O'Mani. Continuing on now for Doyle, and it's touches a little too far, and we'll have a throw now for Med City. It looks like they're going to make a substitution. Roberts is going to check out.
Sponsored by Corey Dropkin Real Estate.
And the throw comes in now. Here's Jake Strachan. Playing it wide. Wilkinson. Neal. Angling a ball over the top.
Yeah, and he was
Flag
offside.
goes up anyway. Yeah, so Jamu was a good step and a half offside or so. So it'll be a free kick now for the Blue-Greens.
Yeah, and you'll start to see, I'm sure, Duluth already just kind of trying to take as much time as they can in between every stoppage of play here.
Yep. So Starling now standing over this ball on the right foot. Like Jake to just give it a ride here over midfield, making his 52nd all-time appearance, and now we're going to have a foul called on Milla. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's a foul either.
Well, Matt, we've
But
seen,
that's where we are in the game, Coach.
and look at that, it's a foul without a yellow card.
Without
so
a yellow
apparently we
card,
can
yeah.
still do that.
And now Doyle will take a free kick here. Stefan Road, by the way, is wandering the sideline here near side.
Playing water boy, and he's
Yes, he is. May have seen him in your screen, you may not have. As Doyle stands over this one on the right foot. It's it in the middle. Now headed down. Gonzalez smartly trying to play it quickly. Now on the outside, here's Neal. Angling ball far side, gets over the top of Artiega. Now coming out, here's Foltz. Cutting down the angle. And they're going to call the offside as the flag goes up.
Zeke made a great save no matter what.
Yeah,
and again, it just, you know, it can kind of push you into this zone of just being confident. If you, even on the offsides, if you're keeping the ball outside your
There's
net.
a fall on Strachan now as Akinola goes down near midfield.
Matt, again, you know, I don't think it's a yellow card, but you've put yourself in a position
Yep,
where
where every call
we've
now
seen
is-
that being carded multiple times,
Yep, in the game. And
you've sort of lost credibility with one team.
now ball played over the top. Here's Domoratsky, edge of the 18. And Soros. And he'll draw a corner kick. So Kosha Domoratsky with those dancing feet. Giovanni Soros had no choice but to send it over the end line, and we'll have a corner kick here for the Blue Greens in the 100th minute. An extra time. Duluth FC playing 2 men down in this game and have been doing so now for a better part of 25-30 minutes of game time here, Coach. Domoratsky getting over the top of it. Back post, headed back in the air. Akinola trying to bring it down. And now there might have been a handball call there.
There's a handball. And
no call given. As Foltz now comes out. Here's Tolbert. Dancing through a couple of players, now sending it wide. Here's Neal. Here's Neal's shot. That one deflects off of the crossbar. Foltz got his right hand on it. Now it's on the outside. Now Milla. There's the cross coming in now from Neal, and it's snared by Foltz in the 6, and he'll keep it there. .102nd minute here now as the clock has gone wacko across the field from us here. It's at 26.8 seconds. I'm not sure what happened there. Ball's now sent toward midfield and now headed down, and they'll go out of play. We'll have a throw coming up here for the Blue Greens, and you're seeing a lot of tired bodies both ways at this point, Coach. I think it's clock, by the way, on your screen is the correct one. The stadium clock is not correct.
I would assume the center official has
The time,
on his watch.
Here's Neal now stepping through. Now read by O'Mani. Colin O'Mani. Domorotsky plays it all the way back. Now here's Starling, and he'll continue it on now for Foltz. We're into the 103rd minute now as this ball comes near side. So 2 minutes away from this first extra session being complete. As the throw comes in from Mila. On the outside now. Wilkinson. Now all the ball on the outside here. Ball comes forward, they continue it on now. Mila. Looking to cross in here. Wilkinson. We're shooting everybody. Artiega now will head it away. Now Med City switching it near side. Wilkinson. Outside Milla. Trying to step through. Domorotsky. And that'll be tackled out by Milla. And he was frustrated with that one, Coach. He was looking for the corner kick there. And Domorotsky with those quick feet able to play it away as we're in the 104th minute now.
Yeah, well done by Coach.
The fact that Duluth FC is able to maintain this, playing 9 on 11, has been really impressive, Coach. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and again, it shows the quality and the depth in that squad, Matt.
As Foltz gives it a ride toward midfield. Mila heads it down. Edmondson will play it back now. Foltz, just give it a ride. Akinola trying to bring it down. Now Bobai playing it over the top. And now Gonzalez has to step out.
Great ball there from Paul Bobai, just to one-touch that ball into space.
Domorotsky, Kostia running onto it. And
obviously Gonzalez did a nice job, quick off his line there to cut it down. If you're the opponent, you don't want to see Kostia Domorotsky running at you with space in front of him.
Yeah.
So, you know, Gonzalez, and again, you know, you're 2 men up, and you think, you know, you can kind of just put this game to bed, but he's staying alert here in a heads-up play on his part.
Domorotsky now will go all the way back. Here's Starling. Jake Starling for the Blue Greens. Colin O'Mani now on the left foot. Laying the ball forward. Second ball now. Here's Bobai. And Bobai now. Starling. Outside Miles Edmondson. Well done by the Blue Greens here. Domorotsky now stepping around. Out on top now Doyle. As we're about 15, 16 minutes, or seconds, excuse me, away from our first extra time whistle here. The second 15 minutes goes underway. Now here's O'Mani coming forward. Colin O'Mani. Now a turnover. Mulward taking it wide. And that shot attempt didn't have much on it. And with that, we get the whistle. The first 15 minutes is in the books, and we'll play a second 15 minutes, of course. We were going to do that anyway, but still tied at 1 here. A couple of good looks for the Mayhem, obviously. Henry Tolbert hitting the post. Shot from the right side, also off the foot of Scott Neal. Getting a hand on it with Zeke Foltz. Off the crossbar, but still not in the back of the net. And we'll head to the second 15-minute session here. Still even up at 1 apiece, Coach. And at this point, like I said, it's a game of attrition. Both teams looking pretty winded at this point.
Well, Matt, you have to give credit to Duluth FC for the players first, for just having the grit to get through what they have, you know, to go a man down, a second man down. Now they're 15 minutes into extra time, and they've been able to keep the score level, you know, and I want to give some credit also to the coaching staff. I mean, in preparation for a season, in preparation for playoffs, you do situational things in training to try to, you know, what do you do when you're a man up? What do you do when you're a man down? you usually don't have enough time to go through every situation of like, well, what do we do when we're 2 men down, right? So this has been improvised, I'm assuming, on the spot by Coach Morgan and the staff. So to be able to kind of come up with the solutions that they have and really see the game through the way that they have up to this point, you have to give them a lot of credit.
Recapping the scoring here through 105 minutes. Felipe Santos scoring the first goal of the game in the 45th minute technically. It was actually about 3 minutes of extra time in the first half. His 6th goal of the season off of helpers from Tyler Limmer and Josh Bellamy, and that gave the Blue Greens a 1-0 lead. Then in a completely card-filled second half, that saw the Blue Greens given 2 red cards and a penalty kick opportunity to boot on a foul by Andre Solaris on Henry Tolbert on the far side of the 18 from our vantage point. Tristan Jamu, scored the goal off the penalty kick and got a good bit of fortune on that one as Zeke Foltz read it, was able to get his hands to it, but it just found its way barely across the line. And as a result, we're tied at 1 apiece here. But again, the big subplot here, the 2 red cards to the Blue Greens in the second half. That has had them playing 2 men down now for just about a full half hour of this game. And if they get the penalty kicks, that alone will be quite remarkable, Coach, playing a team like Med City down 2 people. And 2 men that are very important to the cause in Dylan Zavattini and Andre Solaris, who both were the recipients of those red cards.
Yeah, Matt, now it's 15 minutes for the rest of your season.
Yep. And Med City now will kick off to begin the second extra session here. Rasmussen on the outside now plays it. This is Ricardo Schrader, by the way, who came in as a substitution in that first extra session. Now the ball to the outside. Domorotsky interrupting the pass. Now into the middle. Giovanni Soros with it. Goes outside now. Wilkinson's ball. And it'll go out of play. Far side, last touch by the Blue Greens. We'll have a throw here coming up from Med City. As we're about to go into minute 107 here. From Public School Stadium. If nothing else, it's been entertaining for the home folks. Big crowd here tonight. You see the Blue Greens advance to the Midwest Region playoffs for the 3rd time in club history here. Midwest Region champions in 2018. Made to the semifinal round last year. That's also where Med City went, by the way. Millward, nicely done that time by Doyle. Take it off his foot as he tried to make a move toward the goal. And now the Blue Greens will play it forward. Now playing it back here, Strachan. Soros coming forward. King ball over the top. Tolbert trying to come through and brought down.
Yeah, and Zeke's feeling it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Zeke's on top of it right now. Zeke Foltz coming off of his line, able to smother that ball. As he holds on to it here. Gives it a ride now toward midfield. It'll bounce out of play. Throw coming up here now for the Mayhem. Martin Rasmussen will take the throw in for Jake Strachan. Strachan now will go to the far side of the field with the pass. Wilkinson. Almost forget that he has a yellow card in this game. He's one of, seems like everybody in a in a white shirt has been called on a yellow card at one time or another, but Wilkinson playing on one here for Med City, and that one cleared away now by Doyle, who's come back defensively. Duluth FC basically playing 6 in the back right now, Coach, it looks like. Bobai playing ahead of it, Doyle a little bit ahead, and then, like I said, Akinola basically staying out on top here. That's the look. The Blue Greens are running right now. He's on the outside now. Here's Schrader now, getting a step around Artiega. Taking it toward the byline. Now trying to step through. His ball to the 18. Tolbert was there with it. Rasmussen back now. Here's Soros with it. Soros' ball knocked down by Bobai. Now here's Akinola. Trying to run through, and now he'll be brought down by Soros from behind.
Yeah, and that'll be a yellow card.
Yep. So we're into the 109th minute now.
Warning, Will Robinson. That's a yellow card sponsored by
So it'll be a free kick now for the Blue Greens. Starling standing over this one now.
Yeah, man. If you're sore, is obviously it's really a no risk play for you there.
Yeah.
You take the yellow card, you stop the momentum. You've got Tom Akinola. It's running into open space. So you just clip him, and it's a tactical foul. And curious what the officials are talking about here. Looks like somebody.
Oh yeah, somebody's getting a
bench is getting a red card.
Red card on the bench over there now for Med City. Somebody over there has been tossed from this game. And they're going to give a yellow card to somebody on the Duluth bench. I don't think that's going to bother Sean Morgan too much, but was it the assistant coach that got the red card? I'm not quite sure. Fourth official must have heard something.
Well, I think is that Neil that's leaving? I can't tell from here.
Yeah, it might be Neil. I think it's Coach Cassidy that is. I'm not sure what his complaint is, but at this point, I'm not going to try to figure it out either.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a bona fide yellow card. Again, it's a tactical foul. You're the last man back. You're still in your attacking half when you make the foul, so it's not going to be a red card for Dogso, right?
Right. Yeah.
Denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. But you are the last man back, so there's no question that it's going to be a yellow card. And with the way the game's been called, there really shouldn't be a complaint on that yellow, I wouldn't think.
Especially when the other team has had 2 reds called against them. Starling now will play the ball into the 18. Trying to go up for it now, having it knocked away, headed away by Med City. On the outside, Rasmussen. Archiega went up to challenge him, and it'll be a blue-green throw here coming up.
Yeah, man, these are the questions that you ask yourself as a staff and as a team that's down 2 players. Do you commit anybody forward here and try to get, a chance at maybe nipping a goal, or do you just kind of keep your structure? And Duluth is opting to keep, it looks like, 4 men back essentially. And it's not just the tactics of it. It's also, you've got to consider that a lot of these players are 110 minutes into a game, 111 now.
Yeah, both ways. There's this ball now in the middle. Here's Neal. Playing it wide now. Toby Millward will continue it on the wing. Millen now will drop it back. Here's Millward again coming across midfield on the right foot. Space to exploit, so he spins it wide. Now here's Milla again. Wilkinson. Soros, who, by the way, was the recipient of that last yellow card in question. Now here's Neal. On the outside, Milla. And cross it in and skip through a couple of different players, and Foltz doing the right thing here, taking it wide and just killing some clock here.
Yeah, heads up play from Zeke Foltz there. The ball was bouncing. He could have just taken it into his hands, but he elects to take it down with his feet, and just every second you can take off the clock right now matters, right?
Right, exactly, as we're in the 113th minute now. And now this ball hops over the top. Here's Akinola. Akinola now playing it into space. Artiega's behind the D. And he'll draw
win a corner.
Yeah, a corner kick here. Boy, if he had taken that first time, Coach, could have put a charge into one, maybe given Gonzalez something to think about back there. But in the meantime, we're going to have a corner kick here now for the Blue Greens.
Matt, how fun is it to have Tom Akinola back in,
in
business here?
Yeah, nice job finding Artiega coming through the backside there.
The way he turns and the way he can occupy space, he's just such a force to try to deal with.
Doyle will take this corner kick. Ball comes in. Headed through the middle and finally cleared away. Bobai trying to bring it down. Comes forward, wins it back. Bobai now turns and takes the shot. Comes back, Akinola trying to create some space. And now Med City pumps it wide. And it'll go out of play. And Tolbert now off the throw. Goes back with it. So that was an interesting moment in time, to say the least, as it comes in the middle. Now here's Neal. Continuing it on the outside.
Matt, really well done from O'Mani there. I mean, he's the last player back. He's got to make a play on that ball, and wins it out of bounds and allows Duluth to get their players back into shape here.
Now cleared away by Jake Starling on a ball through the middle. Here's Strachan now, sending it wide. Now trying to make a move in. Here's Neal. Into the middle, the shot, and they score.
Matt, I missed the number on the goal scorer.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is either. That one coming in the 115th minute.
Is it number 7? I can't. Yeah.
I think it's Schrader. Yeah, Ricardo Schrader on the goal.
So he should get a yellow card. Yeah, he'll get a yellow card just for removing his shirt there. I'm sure he's not too busted up about that.
No, he'll probably take that one. So the goal from Schrader. I think the assist goes to Neal, by the way.
Not sure if Duluth will change up tactics one more
Yeah,
time here and just try to get more numbers forward. I would suspect they're going to just sort of drop one player in deep and just start trying to serve balls forward.
That'd be my guess as well. There's a ball forward now, speaking of which. Into the 18 now. Gonzalez will come out and he'll smother it. 116th minute here. Gonzalez now will give it a ride. Now comes wide, here's O'Mani. And now being tripped up was Domorotsky, no foul call there.
Yeah, I think Tolbert got a poke on the ball.
In 17th minute here. Now a throw coming up for the Blue Greens, facing the steepest mountain I think I've ever seen the club face here. Down 2 men and 2-1 here in extra time. That ball will go out now far side. Throw coming up now. O'Mani playing over the top. Akinola trying to turn. Domorotsky now. Three players around him. Now here's Doyle. 118th minute here. 2-1, Med City on the outside. Domorotsky. Doyle, Domorotsky again. Playing it back. Switching it up now, it's Colin O'Mani on the right foot, now the left foot. O'Mani coming forward.
Matt Duluth's going to have to get some service in there.
Yeah,
it's good to be patient. It's good to not get overzealous when you're down, but at some point you've got to get service on some of these possessions.
Now here's Edmondson. Playing it forward now, Artiega. Taking it wide. Keeps it in on the far side. Felipe Artiega making a run through. Now tackled out. Blue Green's taking the corner kick quickly here. And now.
And actually, Matt, I think it's good that they weren't able to get it off quickly. I think you want to wait. You know, you see Zeke Foltz coming up.
Yep.
Wait to get all your players forward here.
119th minute now.
We said Zeke Foltz is good in the air, Matt. Let's see
Yeah,
if he's
we'll
good
see
on
how
the
good.
offensive side too, huh?
Yeah, we'll take a look here. Kostu Damarati will take this one. Bending ball in. Foltz with the header, and the save is made by Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think he's going to give Foltz a foul there. Zeke ran right through it. I don't know which player it was, but I think it was actually Wilkinson. No, it wasn't. Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, but he ran right through him to get to that space.
So Foltz went up and got a piece of that. The player who's down in the box, is it Wilkinson? Is that who we
No,
think it is?
it's not. I
No,
think I just saw him up and around. Oh, it's I think it's Schrader.
And the goal scorer, Schrader, who is down. Technically, we're in extra time now of the extra session, and
I would think there's probably at least 3 minutes here that
yeah, I
they should
would
be giving
guess,
him.
yeah.
You know, you think about there was at least a minute after the goal was scored. We've had a couple players down on the turf for a bit. For good measure, Zeke Foltz just got a yellow card.
Yeah, might as well at this point in the game.
I think of the players on the field for Duluth right now, Matt, by
Well,
my
everybody's
count,
got a card, I think, don't they?
Coastie, Doyle, and Starling don't have yellow cards right now.
That's the only ones. So he's called, what, about 10 yellow cards on Duluth tonight, maybe 11? Plus a couple of reds.
You got to think some of the players were off, so Bellamy's got one. Obviously, Sabatini and Solaris both have two. So, yeah, there's a number of cards out there.
Now Gonzalez is going to send it forward, played right back by Duluth FC. Here's Domoratsky.
How about Roy Doyle just
Yeah, he's
an
just been a
all-out, like,
workhorse.
70-yard sprint there.
Bobai sending it wide now. Can't afford to take this much time with it. As the ball sent forward. Neal now on the outside. Was the assist on what would be the game winner here. Throw comes in from Bobai. Starling. Over the top. Manny now stepping forward. Ball comes in, now Strachan will come in and he'll pump it long. And now Tolbert takes it away from O'Mani.
And that'll be Paul Bobai's second yellow card, and he'll be off.
Yep. That's a yellow card. Actually, they're going to give it to O'Mani, and now he'll be off. And that's 3 red cards on Duluth, and that'll just about put this one to bed, Coach. We'll just wait for the final whistle here. Now he's going to give it.
Roy Doyle gets a yellow card.
Yeah. There are not going to be any warm feelings for Brian Wood after this game from the Duluth FC side, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Matt, he's had a rough night.
Yeah, he's had a very poor night, I would say. And I've seen him referee before, and he's an excellent official, generally speaking.
Yeah, Matt, I agree with that.
Yeah, this is not going to be one to remember for Mr. Wood in the middle, I don't think.
Well, players aren't perfect, coaches
Yeah.
aren't perfect, and officials have tough nights as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the free kick now coming up here. Domaratsky now on the outside. Now the ball goes wide, out off of Med-City. Throw coming in Duluth for the Blue Greens, edge of the 18. Ball comes in over the top, headed away by Schrader, the goal scorer that has Med-City just moments away from a win here.
What a tackle. Rory Doyle is just still has not given up. And Matt, I've been a huge fan of Rory Doyle's, obviously, all summer long, but tonight I've got just an even heightened level of respect for him to see a guy that's over 120 minutes into a game chasing that ball down like that and just pouring it out for himself, for his club. Like,
throw comes in, Rasmussen will send it to the far side. Edmondson now back for Foltz. We're in the 6th minute of extra time here, by the way. Now Akinola trying to flick it forward for Artiega, who's playing on that left side. Now it's Starling. Doyle playing it over the top. Now Bobai. Gets it in the middle now, Domaratsky. And an inside-out move. Turns now on the right foot. There's a wide Edmondson. The 18, Domaratsky. And that now will be cleared over. In the 7th minute of extra time, by the way, here.
good service here, Matt.
Yeah, here's the service coming in. Headed back across. Bobai trying to bring it down, cleared away. Foltz coming forward one more time here. Playing it wide. Now Domaratsky trying to step through. And now Gonzalez will grab it, and that's it. Med City. Wins it 2-1, and I guess if you're Duluth FC, the best that Med City can say is they beat you in double overtime up 3 men. I guess you'll take that.
Yeah, Matt, and for Duluth, they just got to get their players out of here right now.
Yeah. And Sean Morgan is giving an earful to Ryan Wood, and Med City will advance. Final score here, 2-1. And our broadcast season comes to an end, Coach. It's been a fun year. But boy, this is an ugly way to end it.
Yeah. Well, I think, Matt, if we talk about the season that Duluth had, and again, I think you can really sum up just the character from Duluth FC. Like, what they've done this year, and it's a really tough way to end it. And again, I think that we could go on at length about just kind of what fell apart here. But you saw the grit throughout the game. You saw the fact that they kept fighting.
We'll recap the scoring here before we go off air. But, yeah, it's a tough way to go, no question about that. Felipe Santos scoring will prove it to be the Blue-Green's last goal of the campaign. 6th of the season, the 45th minute. And Duluth FC had to lead 1-0, and then the second half, and card after card, red cards, 3 of them against Duluth FC, and I don't know how many cards he awarded in the second half against the Blue-Greens. It had to have been 8 or 9. And Duluth FC loses it 2-1. The tying goal, by the way, came in the 71st minute off of a penalty kick that was drawn by Henry Tolbert. And then Tristan Jamu got just enough of it to score a goal around the diving attempt at the save there by Zeke Foltz. Makes it 1-1 at that point. Duluth FC again playing 2 men down there, pushes it to the second extra session before the game winner scored by Ricardo Schrader in the 115th minute off an assist from Scott Neal to make it 2-1 the final score, and that's where it ends here. But this was, to say this game was ugly toward the end, and scenes on the field certainly can understand why Duluth FC was upset with the way the game was called, Coach.
Yeah, Matt, it's tough to watch at the end here too. I mean, obviously there's going to be some fireworks, and I think it's just a testimony to, the fact that there were 2 really good teams out there, and
Right,
it really,
yeah.
It was a fantastic game to watch.
It could have been a much better game, unfortunately.
For a long time, it was a great game to watch, and unfortunately, just some things took away from it there at the end, and I guess I won't comment too much further on that, but Duluth, a record-setting season, undefeated all the way through the regular season. Obviously, a great game here on Wednesday night, and again, I think we saw a class effort from them tonight. And at the end of the day, hats off to Med City as well. You can't put any of the blame on them for what went down.
Absolutely not.
They found a way to win in the end, and so hats off to them, and best of luck to Med City going forward.
Yeah, Med City moves on to the Midwest Region playoffs next weekend. Duluth FC's season comes to an end. They lose in heartbreaking fashion, to say the least. Duluth FC ends up the season 12-1-1. Med City moves on 8-2-4 now their record, and they will play somebody in the Midwest Region tournament next week. In the meantime, this is our final broadcast here, courtesy of the Blue-Green Stream Team. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who joined us all season long for Duluth FC soccer. Unfortunately, it didn't go the Blue-Greens' way tonight, but it's been a fantastic year for the Blue-Greens across the board, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again next summer. And Duluth FC will again go for it again here and continue to hopefully build on what they have accomplished to this point here in the 2023 campaign. So a big thank you to John Law, our production engineer, our head camera person, Tara Anderson, Coach Joe Mooney. You guys work all year long. It's been a lot of fun for me to work with, and hopefully we'll get a chance, like I said, to do it again in a year's time. So for John Law, Tara Anderson, and Coach Joe Mooney, this is Matt Johnson signing off for the last time. Your final score here, Duluth FC loses it in the NPSL North Conference title game. Final score, Med City 2, Duluth FC 1 in extra time. Thanks for watching all year. We'll hope you'll be joining us again next year for more Duluth FC soccer. This has been Duluth FC Soccer, brought to you again courtesy of the Blue-Green Stream Team.